Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final of the Pacific Championship. New Zealand versus Samoa. These two sides played each other in round one. It was a thrilling contest, but we have to go back to it. Samoa never beating New Zealand in rugby league. They have been so close on so many occasions. Could this one at CommBank Stadium in the final of the Pacific Championships for this year be the time that Samoa finally get that job done? They are an absolutely stacked side. Looking through at their team, you can understand why they are through to this final. They were able to go ahead of Tonga after a very good win. That game affected by lightning, but it didn't I was going to say it didn't dismember. That's not the right word, but it didn't discourage this Samoan side. They made their way through. They had that close game, like I mentioned, up against the Kiwis in round number one. Looking through at New Zealand's starting lineup, they've made a couple little changes, but nothing too substantial. It is the same players as we saw last week in the game up against the Tongans. Kinney moves to number 15 with Nickel Clockstead going in as the 4. So that is an interesting switch for New Zealand there. I felt like Kinney did all right in the midfield, and Nickel Clockstead, solid enough player from the back. Did have a couple troubles up against Samoa, particularly with one of those barricades. Got his arm stuck in it and couldn't get out of it when Samoa were able to score. McLean, he's made his way out onto the wing. So all these little reshuffles, you wonder whether or not that's going to come back to bite New Zealand in this contest, or whether because they are such a well-oiled machine and they've been playing together quite well for some time, whether or not that switch is just going to happen very easily. Kieran Foran, he scored himself one try in a Kiwis kit. He was close to getting one last week, but it was ruled as a forward pass. This is going to be a big match for him. I believe it is his last for the Kiwis, so wants to end on a high. Also in that 4-pack, they have got Fisher Harris, they've got Leota Crossland. He's had to slot in after a bit of an injury in round number one, meant that he got the helm for this back line, and then also Tomoko and also Isiako out on the wing for the Kiwis as well. Looking through at Samoa's side, and like I said, this is one of the most stacked Samoan teams we have seen in quite some time. Payne Haas up the front alongside Tavanga as well as Molos. Now, I will mention the two players who have come in are Jaden Sewer and also Ata Mariotti, or Mariota, I should say, is out there on the field now. Junior Paulo, the big man, he is slotting in at 13. Jerome Luai, he's got a bit of an ego, but he uses it very well. And this is the type of match that, like, for Samoa to be able to beat New Zealand here, they have to believe they can beat them. And I do think that that first match, with it only being separated by the 6 points, that taught Samoa a lot. Told them that they are good enough, and that all they need is one more big moment and they could be right in the contest up against the Kiwis here. I should also mention that last game taking place on New Zealand soil. This one at CommBank Stadium in Sydney, neutral territory. So I would call that a little bit of an advantage for Samoa, because by the sounds of it, the Samoan supporters are piling into the stands for this game. And why wouldn't you? When you see a backline like this, Brian To'o, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Taulangi are the back three, and then Tago and Mariner in that midfield alongside Blaze Talangi, who's been one of the standout players for Toa Samoa throughout this competition. But looking through at the comments, we've got about 18 at the moment by the looks of it. We've got a couple new channel members. You guys have access to those emojis on the channel, so be sure to use them all throughout this one. There is a New Zealand emoji that you will be able to use for this final. Sadly, do not have a Samoan one, but we should have been more prepared in that regard. But we have got Tubro says Wartails. Also, let's go Toa Samoa 685. Says Marianne and Go Manu. Says Riley. It does seem like there is a lot of support at the moment for the Samoan side. They are coming in as slight underdogs in this regard, but that does not mean that they will be out of this contest by any means. Looking through at a few of the recent head-to-heads between these two sides, there we go. These are the last 3 times that these two sides play. One of them being in the first round of the Pacific Championships. New Zealand able to get the win, 24 points to 18. Now at halftime, New Zealand led by 4. There was a decent start to the second half where we saw Talangi managed to get himself the try for Samoa, but from there, New Zealand with Dylan Brown able to score in the later stages of the half in the 74th minute, and that shut Samoa out of that contest. There was also the injury for Mariota that was in that first game. Now makes his way back in for this matchup. The time before that, 2 years ago, 50-0 for New Zealand, and then the time before that, which was a whole 6 years before that, 38 points to 8. So as you can see, all it takes is to look at these 3 results and know that Samoa are in a much better place now than they were a few years ago. They are a whole different side. They have got a whole different mentality. And like I said, if they believe that they can beat the Kiwis in this game, they will have a very good chance to do it. They just can't lose their heads here. There will be some physical collisions in the early stages of the match, but Samoa seem to enjoy that type of challenge as it helps them get into the game that little bit more. They're just showing the link-up play between the likes of a Junior Polo and a Payne Haas in that game up against the Tongans, in which Samoa were heavily victorious, 34 points to 14, so conceding less points up against Tonga than the Kiwis did, although New Zealand scoring themselves the extra 6 in that matchup, 40 points to 14. And as you can see, last time these two sides played, very close in that regard. But looking through at the chat once again, we have got there Samoa win. Will win, Kiwis will win. Damn, it's a win-win situation, says the AI underdog picky. I think a lot of people are a little bit split in terms of who they want to see get themselves the win. We have got there as well, let's go Samoa, says Maria, and also we have got, looking more chipper, had a few whiskeys. I managed to get like 2 or 3 hours sleep, and that seems to have done enough to kind of boost me up a little bit in terms of energy. We did finish that all-nighter doing a whole heap of international rugby matches, 9 hours or so worth of streaming. I am still sick, so luckily it doesn't seem to be affecting me too much as of yet. Touch wood, of course, don't really want to jinx that just at this point in time, but they are just showing the outside of CommBank Stadium. Plenty of Samoan flags in attendance for this game. With this game being on neutral territory, it does, I believe, give Samoa that little bit more of a chance than if this game was taking place. Oh, okay, I have just seen there, the TAB has done a 180. Samoa are now favourites in this matchup. Now, originally, New Zealand came in as slight favourites for this contest, but it seems like in this scenario, it's switched and go Toa Samoa from the Philippines. Says Ali there. Looks like a great afternoon at CommBank Stadium. A much better afternoon than we did have for that match between Samoa and Tonga, where we did see lightning strikes delay the game, go the Toa, says Grace Lynn. And there as well, they are just showing some of the key players for both of these sides. I am surprised that Kinney is playing. Just the amount of times that he went down with an injury in the last contest up against Tonga, it did look like he was going to be struggling to make his way onto the field. For the Samoans, like I said, couple injury returns looking out for you, Hamish. Says Brandon, I think it's just the deception of the suit. I did mention last week that if Samoa and New Zealand were the final, we were going to be putting on the suit. And that is exactly what we've done. Go eat my ass, Kiwi, says Sarah. I'm not quite into that, unfortunately, but looking through at the table and the way that these two sides sit, New Zealand, they are at the top of the bunch, able to get themselves the 2 wins from 2. Like I mentioned, the narrow victory over Samoa in round number 1. The Tongans not quite having their best performance, but I should also mention there is no relegation promotion, which means that Tonga do stay there in that 3rd spot, although they may actually go down because of the Australians when they do come back. But Papua New Guinea, they were able to win the bowl. Fiji finished 2nd, and in this case, we're going to see a winner at the end of this 80 minutes between New Zealand and Samoa. It should be a must-see matchup. They're just so phenomenal when they get their rugby right, both of these sides. And I do feel like this is the type of matchup that, that first game was good between the two sides. 6 points separating them, but I feel like we can go a little bit closer down to the wire in this contest. So hopefully that is what we get. Hi, Hamish and everyone. Says Studs Rays, welcome in, and let's go Toa. Says Salal there, and also we have got this Samoa all the way. Says Junior. I'm trying to see a Samoan. I was going to say a Samoan upset, but they are now considered as the favourites in the betting odds. So I guess it's just a Samoan victory. The first time ever that they would be able to get the win over New Zealand, which would be an absolutely massive occasion. Yeah, bro, didn't think you had much sleep, says Dell. Yeah, still running off very little, but managed to get a good couple hours, which seems to have helped in terms of just the general wellness. Hopefully that is the way that it stays throughout the stream as well. But do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gents. We are less than 15 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest, although they are normally a few more minutes delayed. The New Zealanders will be doing the haka pre-match. Samoa will be doing the same, or their version of the haka as well. But it just seems like this is going to be close. Can I live stream the game in Samoa? If so, how please? The best bet is to go on the NRL website. They do have a where to watch tab, and hopefully that will be able to help you out for the Pacific Championships. I want to say it's on Sky Pacific in Samoa, but I could be wrong. It's a website that I can watch this game live. Sadly, unless you're inside of Australia, which I believe it might be a free-to-air option on 9 in Australia, outside of that, it is very tricky to be able to find a free-to-air broadcast. And let's go Samoa, says RB. And there as well. And I don't think the TAB have got it here in New Zealand as of yet. I know that they showed a few of the International Rugby Union games. And also tonight, Usos says easy in there as well. They are just talking about the Rugby World Cup, or Rugby League World Cup, I should say, that has taken place in a year's time. We did recently see the Cook Islands manage to secure their qualification spot ahead of South Africa. So they have booked themselves through to that World Cup next year. That one should be an extremely competitive one. Last time we did see New Zealand up against the... Who did they play in the semi-final of the Kiwis? I think it was up against Australia, and then on the other side of the draw, I believe it was England-Samoa. So the final in the end, I think, was Australia-Samoa. At the very end, one moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I will very quickly mute 1 second. We are good, hopefully. It looks like both of these sides are just about to make their way out of the tunnel. And we have got a door in the chat, and up the Kiwis says easy. And there as well, Kieran Foran. This will be his final game for New Zealand. We see there James Fisher-Harris. He looks fired up. Ready to go in that number 8 jersey. A few high fives going around. He is leading the side out with Junior Paulo. Are you up early for Argentina-Wales? We certainly are. That is going to be another game that is being covered on the channel by Junior Paulo and also Fisher-Harris. Those two men will be putting in some absolutely huge hits throughout today. How did Australia lose to Italy? Italy did very well in that game. It was close at half-time, and in the end, the Australians just got their second half wrong. The Italians, they look pretty handy. I feel like it was the kind of comeback in that second half that we weren't fully expecting, but should have known that Italy do have up their sleeve. I believe this game for Toa Samoa. Says Sarah there. And does this live actually show the game live? Sadly not, due to licensing. Any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike and banned for 3 months. Do we just watch it? Or do we have to listen to him talk? Sadly, it is just me talking, like I mentioned. Any match footage audio gets you taken off YouTube, banned, and potentially sued. There are a couple free-to-air options, but you have to go through the NRL website and work out whether or not those are eligible in your country. But we are going to be doing the play-by-play all throughout the 80 minutes here, just like we have for the rest of this Pacific Championships competition. It has been a phenomenal one so far. That first matchup between New Zealand and Samoa was an absolutely fantastic one, and hopefully this type of matchup here manages to back it up for these sides as well. We have got, what's the points at the moment? They are 0-0. They haven't got underway as of yet, but in terms of the table, New Zealand had themselves 4, Samoa had themselves 2. This is the way that the standings were at the end of the regular rounds, which was the 2 matches. Samoa getting 1 win, 1 loss, but it was that massive win over the Tongans that managed to put them in the position that they are and book themselves that second spot on the overall standings. Also, Papua New Guinea, they were able to get themselves that big win over the Fijians to book themselves the number 1 spot in the Pacific Bowl. Normally, we would see a match taking place between the 3rd place team in the Pacific Cup and the 1st place side in the Pacific Bowl, but not the case for this match, mainly because of the fact that Australia were not involved in this Pacific Cup as they were too busy winning the Ashes 3-0 up against the English in England. But the Samoa national anthem has been sung. And we have got the New Zealand anthem, and then these two sides will stand off for the pre-match before they do get underway. We have got there would rather hear this young guy talk than nothing, says Craig, and thanks to Kiwi Lads. Says Craig in there as well. Yeah, we do have a lot of people. Normally they will go around trying to find the game, but when they don't, they normally pop back in. I would watch this game live while listening to your commentary at the same time. Says risky options there, and go Samoa, you can do this. Says Sarah there, and go Toa Samoa, says Levi. And let's go to Kiwi, says Johnny Blaze. And hoping for a Samoan victory, says come Brian there with a morning, mate. A little bit ago, and a big prediction from Easy, going with 80 points for the Kiwis, 4 for the Samoans in this contest. So if that happens, would be quite a surprise, is all I'm going to say. I do see this game being a lot closer, although the women's final that did just take place between New Zealand and Australia, it was a lot more one-sided than some would have anticipated. But this is the Samoan starting lineup. Straight away, you look through at this back line, and it is full of talented players, men who can get the job done for the Samoans. They have never beaten the Kiwis, but that does not mean that this isn't one of the strongest Samoan sides that we have seen take to the field up against New Zealand in quite some time. Looking through at that front, Payne Haas up there, Junior Paulo, Jaden Sewer coming back in, and then this back line, like I said, Jerome Luai, Talangi, Mariner, Targo, To'o, Talangi, and Roger Tuavasa Sheik in that number 1 jersey. Imagine the scenes if RTS, he has been successful with the Kiwis at times, but he goes to Samoa. He is eligible to play for them. Imagine if he is a part of that first ever side to beat the Kiwis. It would be fairy tale stuff for that man. And he would love nothing more than to complete that fairy tale at CommBank Stadium here for the Kiwis as they do start their national anthem. McLean moves out onto the wing rather than being in that midfield where he has found so much success throughout this Pacific Championships competition. Cloxton slots in as the 4 with Kinney at number 1. So I do feel like New Zealand, I don't know whether or not that's from something that they've seen in the first match up against Samoa, that they felt the need to reshuffle their side, but honestly, I don't think they really needed to too badly. They haven't got any ins and outs for this game. It is the exact same team that took to the field up against Tonga, so you would think that they want that consistency, but still a world-class side. Iziako out on the wing, and his kicking so far throughout the competition has been very impressive. Kieran Foran, they want to give him the big old send-off. Yes, it is not in New Zealand, but a title under the belt would still be a very good way of honouring the great player. But in the chat, we have got there goes Samoa in there as well. And how is Joey Manu going in French Rugby Union, mate? Says Come Brian. I actually haven't seen too much, to be honest, as of yet. I know that he was rumoured about going to Japan, wasn't he? But he ended up going to France in the end, did he? We have got there go to Kiwi. Says Oceania. And we have got there Samoa is going to win. Says Cena there and go the Kiwis. And there as well, and Kiwi all day, says Jared. Yeah, do let me know your score prediction for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. The national anthems have just now been sung, which means we are very close to the start of this match. Go the Warriors, says Thomas. To be fair, there are Warriors on both sides, though, in terms of the New Zealand lineup as well as for Samoa. Manu's been average, says Sonny is in being in Rugby Union, right? And go the Kiwi, says Oceania. And it also does take a little bit longer to adjust. And Foran getting emotional in the anthem, says Studs Rays. Yeah, this is a big moment for him. A little bit of an ugly shade that has taken over the field at the moment. About half over at CommBank Stadium. So he's going to be that area in the middle of the park where you're just right on the verge of seeing either sun or shade. I tried watching the game this morning, but ended up watching my eyelids. I was listening to the live stream in my sleep, though. Says solid shorts there, but both of these sides now standing off before the match does get underway. Is the game being shown, or is it just commentary? It is just commentary because it is illegal to show any match footage or audio on YouTube without the broadcasting permission. And I should mention here in New Zealand, it is exclusive rights with Sky Sport, which means you're not allowed to show anything, or else you're straight off YouTube and you do get yourself banned. We have got there all the best, my Samoa, says Lisha there. So I do want a simple yes or no in the comments, ladies and gents. Will Samoa beat New Zealand for the first time in Rugby League today? Yes or no? I feel like they've got a pretty decent shot. They've got a great lineup in this matchup. I have to say their team, just like we've mentioned throughout the Pacific Championships, it is looking about as strong as it ever has for the Samoan lineup. But the Kiwis, they've been consistent, getting themselves to 2 wins from 2. They're the only side of the Pacific Championships at this stage in the Cup side that have not had a loss. And we have got there, Nah says solid. Yes, says Sonny. And no, says Axel. No, says Eugene. No, says Dell. Okay, so a lot more saying no at the moment. That the Samoans will not be able to finish off the job. It looks like both of these sides, they are well and truly fired up before the kickoff of this contest. You look at someone like a James Fisher-Harris. He has been there, done that in scenarios like this. Yes, says JR. And no, says Studs Rays. And also Craig has said no too. So even though Samoa at the end of, or just before kickoff, they have become favourites in this contest, it does seem like there are still a lot more people back in the Kiwis to be able to finish the job. Looking through it the last 3 times that these two sides have played, it's actually the closest match was the most recent out of the last 3. That was 24 points to 18. Just 2 years prior, Samoa lost 50-0 to New Zealand. Now, I don't see that happening again here. I feel like Samoa, now that they have played, they will certainly be feeling a lot better for it. They were rusty at times in the first match up against New Zealand, but we did see how much they improved in just the 1 more week of playing up against Tonga, where they were able to get themselves that big win, 34 points to 6. So perhaps game time is the key for the Samoan side, but then you look at the fact that they did not play last week, whereas New Zealand did. So that may give them that slight advantage, being a little bit more rearing to go. Yes, says Rands there. No, 34 points to 22 in favour of the Kiwis, says Tamati. And Samoa could have won the first game. They absolutely could have. There was a time there where there were a few nervous moments for the New Zealanders. It just seemed like Samoa, after that first half, started to find their rhythm as the match progressed. But now the standoff still taking place before the match for these two sides. They're actually running ahead of schedule. So I have a feeling that what happened was they started early this week because of how late they've been the last couple of weeks. And they're going to be good to go with about 2 or 3 minutes before kickoff even gets underway. Where can I pay to watch the game, bruh? Says Jojo, whereabouts in the world are you? Because if you're in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport 1, so that would be through a Sky Sport Now subscription. If you're in Australia, I want to say it's on 9, which is actually a free option, I believe, for being able to watch it. We have got their yes, says Rams, and also, yeah, they could have. There's Rata there as well. Yeah, they had their chances, Samoa. They just weren't quite able to take it, and perhaps that is down to the fact that it was their first game. You look at the Kiwis, and they were a little bit shaky too. They'll feel a lot better going into this matchup, but they will know that there's more of a challenge ahead of them up against Toa Samoa for this matchup in the US. US is a tricky one, because I know that they have had, they have got a broadcaster because the NRL sometimes go into the US, but I'm not too sure who that option is in the US, unfortunately. But the best bet is to go on their NRL website. You'll be able to see the broadcast list in terms of where to watch this game, depending on where you are around the world. We see it there, Junior Paulo just soaking in the atmosphere before this match gets underway. We have got there, so is this where we can watch the game as well, or are we just yapping? We are sadly just yapping because of the fact that any showing of match footage or audio is illegal, gets you taken straight off YouTube. I get a 3-month holiday, but that is not ideal. But yeah, 1 second of footage, you're gone. That is pretty much the way that they've got it. Have you prepared dinner if another lightning storm happens, says Studs Race? I have not. I'm really hoping the lightning stays away for this game. Although, of course, we cannot guarantee it. The last match between Samoa and Tonga, it started off sunny for that match at Suncorp Stadium, and then it just got slowly worse and worse as the match progressed. Whenever have you seen someone like Payne Haas on your side, you have a big chance of winning, says Mark. Yeah, there's some solid boys out there for Samoa. Payne Haas, also in that 4-pack. Junior Paulo, Sasangi, Molo. Like, there are guys everywhere that can put in some absolutely massive shots along the way. And Samoa, baby, says Charlie Pitts there. And also, we have got their first 3 weeks. We're on Fox Sports 2. In America, can't find the final on cable this week, says Brian. So I wonder whether or not they had a special deal, which was that they could only show a certain amount of the matches, right? The standoff still taking place. I will mention the first time that these two sides played off, they actually went nose to nose. Although New Zealand strategically are back from the halfway line. That is as if to say maybe to Samoa, come and go towards us, because then you'll probably get fined. So they are willing to stay back here, the Kiwis. Samoa burn some of that early aggression and energy, although they are certainly looking fired up for this game. Also having someone like a Josh Papali'i off the bench is not a bad option for Samoa. Here, one moment, I'm just about to sneeze, but we are just about underway for this contest as well. We are good, it's a good sneeze when the camera starts getting blurry. I can't find it, says Jojo there, and also the Samoan flags from PP, but both of these sides have had the standoff before the match. Both looking determined. Fisher Harris, like I mentioned, for the Kiwis, they stood back from the halfway line. They went nose to nose with Samoa last time these two sides did play off only a few weeks ago. But that has not been the case yet, and I do think we're going to see some absolutely massive hits early on. It just looks like the way that this type of contest would go. Payne Haas. He was fired up during pre-match. Same with Josh Papali'i pointing everywhere. Go the Kiwis, says Stephanie there. And Jerome Luai, that man, he's got quite the ego on him, but he backs it up out there on the field. And this is the type of game that he has to believe. Like I said, Samoa, they have never beaten New Zealand, but if they think that they can get the job done here, they are already one step closer to being able to achieve that. 18 points for the Kiwis, 12 to Samoa, says Soraya there. Even Taylor May is a great player, says Mark. And also we have got there Samoa Toa, says Joshua there as well. Both sides just doing their last little warm-ups before the match gets underway off the bench. For the Kiwis, they've got Martin, White, Clark and Willison. All 4 men have had impacts throughout this competition already. And including White, who had a phenomenal game last week up against the Tongans as well. And this is how I watched the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight. Glad I never paid to watch live, says JR in there as well. Yeah, that one ended up on Netflix, didn't it? Is he going to show the game or just commentary? Says Sia. Sadly, we are just commentary, mainly because any match footage or audio gets you taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike, as it would be illegal to show anything. But we are allowed to do the play-by-play commentary, just like we are doing, and just like we have been doing for the rest of the Pacific Championship. There's a lady in the crowd with a sign saying, "Who's your daddy?" And it is in the colours of the Samoan flag. So there you go. We have got there Viva la Aotearoa, says Hayden there too. But we are almost ready to go for this contest, round the halfway line. I feel like this is where last week we saw the week prior, it was the early extra meters that New Zealand were able to make for themselves that put them in the perfect position to go on and start that first half a lot better than we did see from Toa Samoa. But now Toa Samoa, they have got 2 games under their belt. You feel like maybe they would have found their rhythm that little bit more. Could come down to reffing who wins. Well, it is Ashley Klein in charge of this match. I believe he was in charge of the New Zealand versus Tonga match just last week. And go Toa Samoa, says Tai Sui Sui. Fisher Harris looking fired up. Both of these sides are ready to go. They are just waiting for the whistle to blow before we get underway for this final. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Big opportunity for him for Samoa. Like I said, he has won many times for New Zealand, but Samoa have never beaten the Kiwis, and he could be on the winning side after transferring to Samoa. But we're ready to go in this match, ladies and gents. And it's going to be the Kiwis kicking this one off 8 seconds away from the final of the Pacific Championships competition. Good morning, all. Says Hano. Welcome in. Hope you're doing very well. And the Kiwis kick us off, and we are underway for the final. That kick's got plenty of height on it. Eventually comes down in the in-goal area of the Samoans, and huge collision off the get-go. Molo decides to take no caution for his own body and just throw it at the Kiwi defence. We know that there are going to be some huge hits early on. Nickel Cloxton a little bit slow getting back up to his feet there, but big collision on Payne Haas. Third tackle here, only 20 metres out from their line. Samoa, like I said, they were averaging a good 5 to 10 metres less than New Zealand all throughout that last first half between the two sides. Now off to the right, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck tackled by Phoenix Crossland, and that is the first set, 40 metres gained for the Samoans. Kick downfield from Jerome Luai. Now taken just outside of their 10-metre line. Here comes the attack and run from Kinney. He went through a battle last week. There were multiple times that man stayed down, but he kept on getting up. And now he's been put in that fullback jersey, so probably going to have even more running to do than he had last week. Big collision on Tomoko. Managed to score himself the try last week up against the Tongans, trying to milk the penalty there. Referee says no, play on. Oh, that looked a little bit high from Junior Paulo, catching Casey McLean. Certainly a player that Samoa wouldn't mind seeing the back of in this matchup. Fisher Harris on the short side. Nice little pop pass up for the Kiwis as they move 45 metres out from their line. Let's go Samoa, says Tina. And all the best, Toa. Oh, and that's a 6 again already for the first 6 that the New Zealanders were going to have. Already we see the reset from the Samoan defence up to the halfway line, and this one's only the first tackle now. Crossland going back across to the right. Kinney trying to sneak his way through before he is tackled by Dean Mariner. Now Crossland back across again. Kieran Foran looking to close out his international rugby league career on a high. Let's go New Zealand, says Audrina. Now up to the third tackle for New Zealand. Off to Fisher Harris. Good attacking pace shown from the Kiwis. And go Kiwis, says Fred there too. They are currently sitting 22 metres out from the Samoan line. Fisher Harris shoveling it across forward. Now quick hands there again. New Zealand cutting back inwards. Little bit of an indecision there from Tomoko, who was just told to go to ground. Crowd not happy with that run. But strategic from the Kiwis. This one kicked high from Kieran Foran, being chased after, looking into the sun, but Brian To'o has taken it beautifully. Now off to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, just 1 metre short of their own goal line, and the penalty is awarded in favour of Samoa. Nice little discipline from Samoa already, says CPB, although the first penalty of this contest goes against New Zealand. And Samoa needs humble, says Sheepdog. Again, never beating New Zealand, but this is the type of game that if they can start well and really take it to the Kiwis early, they will feel confident that they can at least get something going throughout this matchup. But now Samoa, they've kicked that one into touch, about 25 metres out from their own line now, the first tackle of the set. 685, says Malua there. Now going off to the right. Tackle made by James Fisher Harris. They're just talking about the amount of Samoan flags in the stands. It is a huge amount of support for Samoa here. You would think it was a home game at CommBank Stadium, but that has been the case all throughout this Pacific Championship. Sides playing up against the Samoans, feeling like they are in away territory. All looks like a facial hit there for one of the Samoan players, Jerome Luai, going across to Brian To'o, pumping the legs before he is dragged down by Fisher Harris and Tomoko. 40 metres out and 43 metres gained for Samoa up the set. Jerome Luai sends it up high. This one taking a long time to come down, and it's knocked on by the Kiwis. Chance for Samoa now on attack. Ashley Klein just explaining that one to New Zealand. It did go forward off of Nickel Clockston and go Toa, says Lalele there. Oh, what's this? Okay, it sounds like already New Zealand are going to be using their captain's challenge. That is something we haven't actually seen a huge amount throughout this Pacific Championships competition. Why is the final in Aussie not here? And they're not even in the comp? I think it's just down to the fact that I guess they just want a neutral ground for the final, I guess, would be the only thing I can think of. But they're going up to check this one to see whether or not there was an accidental obstruction there, Samoa. I mean, they did collide with the player. Was in front of the ball, so this may end up being a penalty in favour of the Kiwis, although they may also rule it the other way. They might say that he didn't actually get involved. What the heck is this? Whereas the game says Williams, the game is available on Sky Sport here in New Zealand. We've mentioned about it multiple times that we aren't actually able to show match footage due to it being illegal. We don't like going to prison too much, been there, done that. But that's going to be the penalty awarded to New Zealand. Challenge successful. That's going against Isaac Targo. Let's go 685. You can do it, says Molly there. And good luck to Samoa, says Sarai. And Aussie playing, says Drasky. They managed to get themselves the win in the Women's Pacific Championships final up against New Zealand. Pretty one-sided affair between those two sides. And now they will be able to kick this one towards the sideline with Dylan Brown for the Kiwis. One's going to be put into touch about 40 metres out from the New Zealand line. This is where they can start getting that attack going again. Let's go Kiwi, says Mahaki. So far, we have seen the penalty count be 1-1 for these two sides. 5 minutes through this Pacific Championship final. Do you hear you going to prison stories, says Stutz Race. Now, nice attack and run from James Fisher-Harris. Crossland asking for the 6 again. Cool, doesn't end up getting it. Let's go the Kiwis, says Taue there. And what 685, is it your favourite bus route? It is the area code of Samoa, I believe. That's where the 685 does come from. Let's go Toa Samoa, says Molly there. Looking for the offload, Tapena keeping the ball alive for New Zealand, getting those few extra metres. And the Samoan flags there from, it was Tua in there too, now Foreign. Going across to the right-hand side, thought about the inside pass, but Kenny has collided high. Head driven into the turf by the Samoan defence as well, only making the 28 metres this time, New Zealand. But because they had that penalty, it meant that they got those few extra metres anyway. And up the Kiwis, says SK, nicely taken at the back for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Or he is tackled by Leota. A little bit of push and shove there as well between those two. Of course, they were teammates for a long time. And come on, do it, me. Toa, says Mark. Now off to the left-hand side for Samoa. Still 0-0 after the first 6 minutes of this contest. And come on, the Usos. And the Kiwi team says be the best now. Passed across again. It's a good shot coming in. Oh, and I believe that would have been Molo. Now Junior Paulo up to the halfway line. Starting to make a few extra easy metres here for the Samoans. Fifth and final. They made 47 that time. Now pick and go. Going off to the side. Jerome Luai kicks it up high. Down towards the Kiwis. 10 metre line. Bit of a miscommunication at the back. But eventually they decide on Isiako to be able to take it. And 685, let's go, says Celeste. And also, let's go Toa, says Joseph in there as well. Now, straight run coming forward for the Kiwis, sitting about 32 metres out from their own try line. Up to 3 tackles made now. Pick and go from Kinney. He was almost able to snipe right through the gap, getting this one now moving a little bit quicker, hiring or getting that tempo just that little bit faster here for the Kiwis. Jerome Brown. Dylan Brown, I should say, shut down. We have got there. How dare you, Minty, says Molly. And there as well, now back across to Tapine. He thought about the offload, he tries it, and it's picked up by Samoa. Around the halfway line, they have managed to get themselves a crucial turnover. And that means that now they've only got 50 metres to go to the try line. Jerome Luai offloading to Tuivasa-Sheck, who again is tackled by Leota, who is hanging on to him all throughout this match so far. He is just not letting him through. Junior Paulo stepping sideways. That is now 3 tackles here for the Samoans. Tuivasa-Sheck was waiting for that pass, but they do go to Payne Haas instead. So let's go, says Edward. Someone better score soon. I don't care. Just someone score. I'll tell you what, Samoa are in a good position at the moment. They're 20 metres out from the Kiwi line, trying to break through. Just a duck underneath the high challenge there, Isaac Targo. 44-metre gain for Samoa. 20 metres out from the line. Blaze Talangi. He's had some great plays all throughout this Pacific Championship. Ball offloaded. Passed out wide. Jerome Luai. But it bounced around Brian To'o. It was an awkward pass at an awkward height, and he just needed that ball to sit up into his grasp, but instead sneaks around the outside and does drift into touch. That was a big chance for the Samoans, and that all came from the mistake of New Zealand looking for the offload round the halfway line for Joseph Tapene, and then from there Samoa making their 40 metres on attack and almost getting the half by little chance that they needed to strike first in this match. Go the Kiwis, his SK squad. And let's go, says Francisco there. Currently 8.5 minutes through this game. Nickel Cloxton getting driven backwards as well as sideways. Looks like he's a little bit once again. So another offload there for New Zealand. They have just shown there New Zealand won all 6 matches against Samoa, including their last 3. One of the closest games was actually the one that took place in round 1 of the Pacific Championships. I think Nickel Cloxton's still not 100% here. He's trying to hide down on this near side, but that's actually where the Kiwis have ended up running. Oh, what kind of pass is that? You could have scored, says Novmum. Yeah, Jerome Luai just needed that little bit more distance on it, but tried to shovel it on quickly. Early kick from New Zealand, looking for the 40-20, but it is sitting up for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, 15 metres out from the Samoa line. He is tackled again by Leota. Every time that Tuivasa-Sheck runs the ball back, Leota's just waiting for him, ready to make that tackle. Crossland and Papali'i alongside Fisher Harris make a 3-man tackle. Samoa third tackle now, sitting 40 metres out from their own goal line. And the Kiwi says Mahaki, there goes Samoa, says Samoan Gamer. Now off to the left, up to halfway. Junior Paulo, short little pop pass, but just a little bit of a slip there for Samoa as they almost pierce through the gap. Junior Paulo, he's going to pin his ears back, the big man. And makes those few extra metres again. Samoa, they've got a lot of forward momentum now. Looking for the offload. Goes to Payne Haas. 6 again is the call against New Zealand. And they are only 6 metres out from the New Zealand line. Payne Haas, they've got so many options. They just can't butcher this one. Samoa 1 metre short. Oh, he thought about reaching out. In that case, Payne Haas. In fact, that would have been Francis Molo. In fact, another sniping run. And 6 again is the call again in favour of Samoa. They're just trying to power their way over with the forwards. But 1 metre out, I feel like they have to use their backline here. And that is what they're going to do. Jerome Luai skids through and Brian To'o scores it in the corner. Samoa on the board first in the Pacific Championships final. And that has made the crowd well and truly come alive at CommBank Stadium. I want to say that Samoa, in that first match up against New Zealand, I don't think they ever led in that game. I could be wrong. They were 18 all in that matchup. They were 12-12. They were always chasing the game. But at this point in time, in the 10th minute, the last time these two sides played, it was Charlie McLean who managed to score. But this time it's Brian To'o off the assist of Jerome Luai. The Kiwis rushing up, leaving that gap and striking out wide. Remarkable commentary skills, bro, says Himalayan. Thank you very much. This is overtime to win, says George there. A great finish from Brian To'o. Bit of an awkward landing for the man, but he doesn't care. He was fired up in front of the crowd. I was about to say the home crowd, but that's what you would have thought in that back corner. There are Samoan flags absolutely everywhere. 6 tries from 11 games for Brian To'o. Many more to come as well. They're just showing that run from Junior Paulo. A lot of intent from some of the veterans of the Samoan team. And then the 6 again against New Zealand a couple times in a row. And that is what led to the perfect opportunity to shift it out wide. Love you, bro, says Roger Peters. And there as well. And this is overtime to win, says George. And if Samoa got a decent lead, they could run away with it. They have the crowd, absolutely. They have certainly got the home field, or at least it feels that way at the moment. And you can see the celebration. Someone like a Jerome Luai knows how crucial that was to strike first up against New Zealand. Like I said, they were never in the lead up against the Kiwis in the first match. So already uncharted territory here for Samoa. Last match, Blaze Talangi was able to get 71% of his kicks over, sitting 5 from 7. And Talangi has struck that one beautifully. It goes over, making the score now 6-0 in favour of the Samoans. Kiwis don't even support their players. Says be the best, and also they have the ref. And they had the ref every game. Are we talking about New Zealand or Samoa in this case? Because first penalty of this match actually went against the Samoans, didn't it? Oh, the first 6 again anyway was against Samoa in this contest. You can do this, Samoa, says Molly. And Vane says Darren. And there as well. But 6-0. That is a perfect position to be sitting. You'd much rather be sitting there like this than sitting down at this point in time. Hi, Hamish, hi all. Be the best. Shut your face. Says Roger. I'm not sure whether or not that's to me or someone in the chat. We have got there. Let's go. Says George. It's kicked off long by New Zealand. Now, big attack and run. Huge collision there with Papali'i and Nickel Clockston. Brian To'o plays for the Panthers, I thought. He does. But in international rugby, he plays for Samoa and has recently got himself a very impressive try out there on the wing. Yes, all he had to do was run it in, but the job was not done when that pass went out to him, because we did see last time it went into touch from Jerome Luai. A little bit of a miscommunication there from Samoa, but still attacking. Fourth tackle, 30 metres out from their goal line. Did the Samoan crowd boo the haka again? I don't think so in this case. I think there was more so just a buzz around the stadium. Now ready to feed this ball in. 40 metres gained. This one's going to be kicked downfield. Nicely taken. And now charging this one back. It is going to be Kinney. Tries to test out that step, and he is wrestled backwards by Paynas. That is a very tough wedgie for the youngster, and I think he was getting told about it by Samoa as well. A little bit of physical domination from Samoa in that tackle, although there's always going to be when you've got two big forwards making a tackle on a guy who's about half their weight. Now third tackle for the Kiwis. And we have there, just go, shut up, says is there. And also we're there, who do you go for, says George. I was just hoping for a good game between these two sides. And if it was anything like the first match that took place between these two teams in the Pacific Championships, I was going to be more than happy. And at the moment, it looks like it's shaping up that way. Crossland passes it off now to Kinney. He sits down. Junior Polo. That is a statement from the young man. I mentioned about in the last tackle how he got driven backwards, probably about 10 metres with a wedgie intact. But this time, managed just to sit down. Junior Polo got himself on the wrong side. Kicked him behind from New Zealand. Now Roger Tuivasa Sheik. Early tackle on him by Nickel Clockston. Now let's go Samoa, says Wazir there. Fair game. Says Tuakana, yeah, it was considered as a 50-50 between these two sides in terms of the betting odds. You can understand why. It's been an awesome start. It's been frantic for the first 15 minutes of the match, but I've been absolutely loving every second of it. Brian To'o now has a carry, the lone try scorer at this stage. Should have got your bro Simon Mannering as the co-host, says David. Yeah, we'd be able to see how much of the comparison is actually, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more scruffy than Simon Mannering at this point, though. Looks like maybe a bit of an injury here as well for one of the Samoan players in back play. Keep an eye on him, but Jerome Luai kicking it downfield off the fifth and final. I'll tell you what, that ball was curling towards the touchline a little bit, trying to get that 40-20. Now running it back, that's a massive run from McLean. The more that he can get that ball involved, or get involved in the ball for New Zealand, the absolute better off they will be. It's been one of the standouts throughout the first two matches for the Kiwis, although he hasn't been playing out on the wing. Just that reshuffle for the Kiwis at this stage. Now passing off, little sell of the dummy from Iziako. And we have got there, Kiwi is the best, says Amelia. And come on, Samoa, says Pule there too. Low tackle made. On it would have been Moses Leota. Now Crossland uses quickly, goes across to Brown. Wasn't quite able to pierce the gap. He's looked for the offload. I think that came off Isaac Targo. So this should be 6 again for the Kiwis. Now Fisher Harris going to Nickel Clockston. The Kiwis, they will want to get themselves the try before halftime. Both deserve it, says Tuakana there. Yeah, like this game is a perfect example of one that both sides, if they were to win it from here, would be thoroughly deserving of that Pacific Nations or Pacific Championship title. 6 again for the Kiwis. That is now the second time that we have seen that from Samoa. Now off to the right-hand side. Foreign going now on the outside. Kinney shut down and slammed down by Jerome Luai. A little bit too aggressive there, Luai. And now it's all starting to kick off. Bit of push and shove. Luai had him round the neck. And it looks like it didn't make the Kiwi forwards too happy. But are we going to watch them play? Or is he just going to tell us who's winning? That is pretty much the play-by-play commentary that we do on the channel. It is because of copyright. Can you move? There you go. No one's on the field. At the moment, we have got the Hamish. How you going, mate? Says Carlos doing very well. And yeah, you can see him there almost in a choke hold for Jerome Luai. And straight away, Nakota was not too happy about it. And go Toa, says Jonathan there. Do you know what a ruck infringement is? Says Love Mum. And also we have got there, I have a popular theory that Samoans invented curry. You say a popular theory. How popular is this theory that you speak of? And we have got there, what did you go for jail for? No, he didn't actually go to jail. But we easily could have if we had been showing match footage. And now Kieran Foran, he's going to take the quick tap. Going off to the left-hand side, Moses Leota. So then 5 metres out from line, good tackle made by Payne Haas and Junior Polo. That had to be made. Crossland, oh, is that going to be a mistake? Yes, it is. Moses Leota having a bit of an error there off the rolling it. And a little bit of back and forth again between these two sides. There is a lot of tension out there on the park. Who scored the first try for Samoa? It was Brian To'o who managed to get himself the first try of this contest. And I think it will be the first of many between these two teams as well. One moment, I'm just about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. Here we go, we are good. Please don't make us lose. We got the best streak. Says Mahaki, they have never lost to Samoa face-to-face. Of course, Jerome Luai right in the middle. And we have got there also 65%. We're born in New Zealand, says Jerry Bell. And if Samoa wins, says Roger, and tell you what, they're sitting pretty nicely at the moment. We are currently sitting about 17 minutes into this final. Jerome Luai, he will have the scrum beat 10 metres out from their own line here, Samoa. This is where they really have to make the most of it. Get another try on the board. That would make a massive amount of pressure felt for the Kiwis here. Oh, bit of an injury for Tomoko. Looked like he may have hurt his arm in the process of making that tackle. Now another step for Brian To'o. Would it be the same layers without the Samoan bloodline? Says the Black Hammer, and that is going to be another penalty, this time going the way of Samoa. Moses Leota, he is saying there that he was held in that scenario. It's a game usually not live. Says Amazing Grace. Normally we do just do the play-by-play commentary on the channel. That is, once again, due to being illegal to show any match footage or audio. And how did you go with the All Blacks versus Ireland live? It was decent. Overall, a bit of a competitive match between those two sides. New Zealand running away with it near the end, but in the end, Ireland still doing very well for their first hit out of November. Got the new channel member Envi as well. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. And also we have got the okay, thank God, says Amazing Grace. And there too. And did you at least get some sleep? I managed like 2 or 3 hours. Did I just answer that? I can't remember if I did. But now around the halfway line, chance here to move forward. That's a big collision with Tavanga, who recently made his way off of the bench, or off of the interchange. Blaze Talangi, tackle low by James Fisher-Harris. Rolling this one back, 28 metres gained for Samoa, Jerome Luai. Again, we'll put this ball up nice and high, colliding in the air. And getting underneath it was Kinney. One of the smaller players around on the field, but certainly does pack a punch when it comes to that aerial ability. Now, another big shot coming in on McLean. Gotta love the Samoan crowd singing. Oh, Talangi, he was actually the man who went off the field for Tavanga. They have just shown. We're already a quarter of the way through this contest. Another step. They're starting to struggle to make a few metres here, New Zealand. Samoa's defence has got a lot stronger. It actually did that in the game up against the Tongans as well. We have got another channel member, an Amazing Grace. You now have access to those emojis on the channel. Nice step from Kinney as he moves up to the halfway line. Looks like maybe a bit of an injury here for one of the Samoan players, but New Zealand, they're looking to use this on the fifth and final, cutting back through. Plenty of pace. Ball on the inside. Stepped out. Jerome Brown, what an offload that is. Tucking underneath the challengers. Looking for the offload. They score it out wide, New Zealand. No, they don't. It's ruled as forward for that last pass to Isiako, and it will be no try, but a brilliant attacking chance for the Kiwis. They decided rather than going for the kick downfield that they would take the risk trying to get the big reward. But it doesn't work out that time. Much love to New Zealand, but this is Samoa. Much love from Atlanta, Georgia. says Tiny there. Yeah, some great stepping initially, trying to find that gap. The run from, I believe it would have been Nakora, and then that one just rolled us forward into the hands of Iziako. How do I watch this amazing grace? So it is on Sky Sport here in New Zealand. It is also on 9 in Australia as well as your other broadcasting option. I mentioned about it earlier on. We are unable to show any match footage or audio on YouTube due to copyright infringement. So if that was why you became a member, you should be able to refund that without any issues whatsoever. We have got there go Kiwis Samoa support you, and Samoa's are supporting Hamish. Supporting Samoa. I said saying, kia ora, bro. Says Les, another step there. Now Junior Paulo. I don't think he'll be too far away from getting another carry. Here's Tavanga. Kiwis will win, no worries, says John Wilson. Off to the left-hand side, Brian To'o. We're waiting for this ball out on the left-hand side now. They managed to find him. To'o with a chip in mind. It was the 5th and final. That one will go into touch. Okay, thank you. Says Amazing Grace there. Can't be making those simple mistakes, says CPB. And please show the screen. Sadly, any match footage or audio would take us straight off YouTube like I mentioned. Currently, after 21 minutes in this contest, the score still sits 6-0 in favour of the Samoans. Brian To'o just trying his luck with a chip in behind. That ball just curling a little bit too much. And we have got this part of the International Autumn Games. It is not. This is actually Rugby League rather than Rugby Union. And just rolled forward. Sounds like the ref is with Samoa, like I said earlier, although it was a forward pass in that scenario. So rather than ruling it as forward, he just made the right decision in that scenario. But unlucky for the Kiwis, though, as they did look nice with that offloading game. But Samoa, and we're able to survive the onslaught. Now moving forward, going to be a chance for the Kiwis to go to the short side. I do know that McLean has already had a hit up, so he is not waiting for it on the outside. And I think Brown may have been going for the offload to him. Now manages to find the hands of Casey McLean. And WF, why are we losing, says Minty. There was the early try for Samoa, though this game's starting to open up. Another offload from the Kiwis. Big fin from White. Bumps off Toa Samoa, trying to get through another one. That man is dangerous with the ball in hand. I mentioned how much of an impact he had last week. He's looking to do it again now. Backline movement. Kieran forward. Going off to the right-hand side. Chance to pass it on. Can't get it away. Brilliant defense from the Samoans again. And I think Nakora didn't realise that that was the last tackle of the set. We have got there. Let's go Samoa. And we have got there. You can't show the screen. And also we have got there. Dry sheepdog, says Julian in there. But now Samoa, with 17 minutes remaining on the clock, they have again survived the Kiwi onslaught on attack. And it was a great run initially from, it would have been White, and then just couldn't quite get that next pass that he wanted. Oh, big collision there. White making the tackle on Tavanga. And also how many players in the Kiwis were born within 2.48 kilometres from Eden Park? No idea whatsoever. And 30 metres says risk. Up to the 4th tackle made in the set. Samoa just looking to get as close to the halfway line as they can before sinking the slipper into it. Paying a Haas. Now again, the big collision. It's a good defensive set from the Kiwis. Samoa just making the 30 metres. Now Jerome Luai kicking downfield again. This game's staying close at the moment. A pass across 30 metres from the try line. Another nice step. But defensively sound there from Isaac Targo, manages to drag down Kinney. Can I get a shout out, says Fred? You can, as long as you don't keep asking for the game, seeing as we can't actually show it due to it being illegal. About 16 minutes remaining in the half. Fisher Harris has made his way off as an interchange player for New Zealand. Nickel Clockstead moves towards the halfway line, just joined just joined you. What did I miss so far? We've seen the one try for Brian To'o. Couple 6 again calls going against both sides in New Zealand. They've had 2 very good opportunities in the last 5 minutes, but haven't turned it into points at this stage of the contest. That's going to be for Aaron Clark as well. I should mention that Fisher Harris has gone off for little grubber in mind. Attempted their big collision claim nicely by Roger Tuawasa Sheku. Felt every kg of the shot coming in from it would have been Isaiah Papali'i. And support you all the way, Hamish, says Carlos there. And Samoa playing well, credit to them. Step up a gear, Kiwi says CPB. Like they've just said, hardly any time for resting for either of these two sides throughout the match. And that is the way that it's going to be all throughout the 80 minutes by the looks of it. It is all about wearing down your opposition. Mistake, though, from Samoa. The pass was not supposed to go to Jerome Luai, but Junior Paulo, he took the risk, and now they have been gifted a perfect position on the field, New Zealand, to try and get an attacking set going. We have there, none of my streaming sites have it. It says Sua there. And also we have there, Kiwis need to get some points on the board, says CPB. Yeah, if they can go into halftime. Oh, okay, Murray Tuolangi has been ruled out with a knee injury here by the looks of it. So Samoa have had to make that change, and that is a big hit for them at the moment. New Zealand, they have conceded 3 penalties. We've seen Samoa concede the 2. How many minutes so far? At the moment, we are sitting 25 minutes through this contest with another 15 to go. Now, ready to throw it in for New Zealand and get this tap back underway. How long left on this game? So we have still got another 15 minutes of the first half, and then the whole second half of 40 minutes that is going to be taking place as well. That is first tackle made on the Kiwis. They are sitting just the 12 metres out from the Samoan try line. If anyone's going to break his way through, it is going to be Naufahu White. He has been such a clinical carrier of the ball, and that almost was going to become a 6 again, but not quite. Now Crossland goes across the forward, goes again to the left-hand side. Nickel Cloxton tries to step through the gap, looking for the offload again. Couple risky ones from New Zealand throughout this one. We have got there go New Zealand, says Tim there, and also we've got their house, says Fred. Now going back across to the right for the Kiwis. Currently sitting 10 metres out from the line. Oh, that's 6 again for the New Zealanders. That is exactly what they were after, because I believe we saw there that Dylan Brown was just about to kick it downfield. Decided against it though. So 55 minutes for your non-mathematical people. Says Jason, I missed pre-kickoff shenanigans. What was the build-up like? These two sides not as feisty as they were the last time they went head-to-head. That's a great run from Brown. He's going to be held up though over the goal line. Good defence again from Samoa. That is now the 3rd time you'd argue in this half that they have stopped New Zealand from scoring in a very good position on the field. Well, this doesn't look too good, though. A bit of a head knock for one of the New Zealand players. Looks like he's got blood coming off his face, and then also he looks like he's struggling at the moment, maybe from his mouth, Dylan Brown. Now we have got there who's close to trying. New Zealand were very close to getting over the line just then, but in the end, again, we did see the Samoan defence just hanging on. I made a bet on Kiwis, going to collect after the game. Says Roger, how about he shut you out, Fred? Says JR there. And we have also got their Samoa. That's why New Zealanders help up. Says short stories. It looks like Dylan Brown, if he can, he will want to continue in this match. There's no reason that he would want to go off the field this early on. Oh, Jerome Luai, he's been through a battle as well. Looks like his nose is currently absolutely just pouring with blood. Blood all over the place, although that's what you expect in a matchup between these two sides. You know it's going to be physical, and that both of these sides are going to put the bodies on the line for their countries here. We got their held up. Cheers, short stories. And we have got their, they need to be careful. Do not bring them back on, says Katzenell. And also we've got their shout out to the coach. Says be the best and up the Kiwi, says Anna in there. What are the betting odds? New Zealand must be favourite. They were about maybe up until an hour before the game, and then Samoa got some late money on them, becoming favourites heading into this contest. But they're very much 50-50 in the odds, which is interesting because, like we've mentioned, Samoa have never beaten New Zealand in a game of rugby league, but this is their best possible chance, and currently leading at this point with 13 minutes remaining of the first half. They will be feeling quite confident heading into the halftime break if they can keep the Kiwis out for the whole first 40. But now Kieran Foran shovels it on to Kinney, and he is slammed down in a tackle. Nicely done by Brian To'o. Now Kieran Foran going back across up to the 4th tackle now for the Kiwis. Another offload coming. Here's Dylan Brown. Passes across. McLean trying to step back inwards. So hard to stop him, but he's going to be held up over the goal line again. It is brilliant defence from Samoa, who are just not giving up in this contest. They focus Toa, says Lola there. And a lesser side would have considered probably 2 or 3 tries at this stage of the contest. New Zealand on their 5th and final. Foran going across now to the right-hand side. Interception! And it's taken by Samoa. And they will have the full field try that they are able to run in here. Massive chance and massive mistake from the Kiwis. But beautifully done by Toa Samoa as they now take that lead by even more in this contest. It was the 5th and final. New Zealand took the risk of trying to use their backline and the Samoan reading it like a book. Brilliantly done from Semi Sasangi. And Samoa now with that 10-point lead. And damn Samoa in this, says Polivea's there. And Samoa says William, and a lot of Penrith players are Samoan, says Tim Butler. Well, we're going to see it now. The pass attempted from Kieran Foran, and it was just red from the get-go. Sasangi had the pace to be able to get there and finishes it off. We have got there, Toa wins, wait, and Tahuhu for Aka with any Samoan, says Roger. Also, we have got there, shout out to the people cooking hot food in the back, says Dras there, and nice star Hamo, says it was there from Pura. And also we have got there, let's go Samoa, says Ashley there, and can Samoa keep it up? That's a brilliant question. This is uncharted territory though, because in the first match that we saw Samoa play New Zealand, they were never in the lead. They at best were drawing with New Zealand, whereas this is the complete opposite. And that's kind of a good thing for Samoa. I mentioned how straight away in this game they had to play with confidence, like a side that knew that they had enough talent to be able to win, and that is what they're doing so far. Defensively, this has been one of the best Samoan performances we have seen, and it's the perfect time to do it. We have got there, Samoa is going to win, says Fa'amoana, and Kiwis easy comeback. Yeah, this game is still early enough that comebacks can happen. Is it a 10-0 lead for Samoa? It certainly is, and it's about to be 12-0. If Blaze Talangi can add the extra 2 here, which he does, down the middle the kick goes, and that makes the score now 12-0 in favour of Samoa with just the 10 minutes remaining of this first half. Get up, Kiwis win, says Trio there. And 685 says be the best. And Samoan power, Manu Samoa says Jason in there too. The longer Samoa can maintain a healthy lead, the more pressure on New Zealand. And Josh Papali will help a lot, says Sonny Listen. And we're cooked, says Sig YT. And today's the day we win, says George Peter. They have been trying time and time again, Samoa. They were close in the first matchup of the Pacific Championships up against New Zealand. But this game, it seems like they have learned from the mistakes that they made in that first match. And they're very clinical at the moment, Samoa. Haven't had a huge amount of chances, but when they do, been able to score. And score at the moment, it is 12-0 in favour of Samoa. Now it's going to be kicked off long by New Zealand again. Is this a full-strength Kiwi team? I'll put it this way. There are no changes compared to what we saw in the match last week where they were able to beat Tonga by about 26 points and got 40 points on the board. We have got there, bro, all these Samoans. Keep running their mouth, but we'll see who's talking at the end of the game. Yeah, it's still early on in this matchup, so of course there will be a bit of confidence there for Samoa, but they can't get too confident as of yet. They still need, I would say, a good 2 or 3 more tries to feel safe in this match. Oh, offload there, making the mistake for Samoa, and Nickel Clockstead has managed to claim it for New Zealand. That is one of those mistakes that they could not afford to make with 10 minutes remaining in the half. And Samoa will surely turn the table on the Kiwis in the grand final. Says Sana there, going off to the right-hand side. Crossland. Another spin attempted from White. It's sat down by Josh Papali'i, one of the interchange players for the Samoans. Not exactly a bad man to have coming off the bench in the scenario, just to be able to keep on enforcing that physicality. And play defence, says Mackay. And there's Samoa 13 plus maybe, says Pura. Tackle made on Kinney again. On off to the left-hand side. New Zealand, they are starting to make a few more easy meters though. Now running it through. Brown gets close, just the 2 meters short. But that is the 5th. And again, Samoa managing to survive. And tell you what, there's some frustration at the moment. Isaiah Papali having a bit of a yelling competition there with Roger Tuawasa-Sheck. Isn't this the final? It certainly is. Whoever takes this out will win the competition. We see it there. Brown goes through. And just that last-ditch tackle from Roger Tuawasa-Sheck. Oh, no. Samoa, just a simple pass. Goes straight into the hands of New Zealand. They've given the ball back to the Kiwis. 10 metres out from the goal line. This could be a crucial error from Toa Samoa. I thought that I was safe to have a drink because they were just going to hit up their set, but no. Throwing the ball away after one tackle. And now the Kiwis back on attack here again. Time it would have been Aaron Clark charging forward. Now, going back across. Oh, it's 6 again. That's about the 4th time that Samoa have given away one of those in this contest. Aaron Clark gets that a little bit closer. Crossland. And 6 again. again against Samoa. Now foreign, good hands from Kinney. It's going to be tackled well by Blaze Talangi. And this is where New Zealand need to know that they've got tackles up their sleeve. They don't need to rush anything as of yet. We've got some big enough players out there. Willison does get one of his first carries of the contest. Now Crossland going back again, almost through. They do cut through now, New Zealand. And Aaron Clark scoring the try. That all came from the Samoan mistake that happened only a few phases ago. They threw the ball away. Toa Samoa and the Kiwis said thank you for the opportunity and scoring it now with Aaron Clark. And that takes away some of the brilliant defensive work that we have seen from Samoa throughout this half, where they've been able to keep the Kiwis tryless. But then Jerome Luai missing that tackle there. Massive gap, point gap boost. Although it's a little bit smaller now. New Zealand, they'll be looking to add the extra 2 of Isiako, and that would make it just the 6 points difference. Now we have got the beginning of the end for Samoa, says Jason there. And also, let's go Samoa, says Thomas. And also Samoa, says Tusi. But that has given New Zealand that little bit of a comeback before the halftime break. If they had kept New Zealand on that big 0 heading into the halftime sheds, that would have done all sorts of problems and made New Zealand probably just question how they were going to come back in this game. But to go into halftime 6-12, I think they'd probably take it with the way that they haven't been able to finish too often throughout this half. But it is actually an Alfahu White. My apologies. I did say that it was Aaron Clark who managed to score it. But it was Aaron Clark with the assist in that scenario. He was the last pass. And also, why no Kiwi hits? I got Big Samoan's clipping little boy. He had no replay on the Haas and Polo getting bounced by backs. Says Tarata there. And also Samoa says random in there. And well done, Kiwis. Keep the contest cliffhanger, guys. Yeah, I just have a feeling that this one's going to go right down to the wire. Hopefully, similar to what we saw in the first match between the two teams. Just 6.5 minutes now remaining in this first half of the contest. Up the Kiwis, says the Tractor Legacy. And chart up Samoans. Still gonna go, says Duck. And up the Kiwis. But all good if Samoa wins, says Pura Walker. And now kicking it over, Isiako does convert, making the score now 12 points to 6. Still in favour of Samoa, but just that 6 points separating these two sides now. I'm just going to quickly look at what the score was at halftime the last time that these two sides played. It was 12-16 in favour of New Zealand. Now, in the second half, we did see New Zealand score 8 points compared to Samoa, who did score the 6. But then Samoa, in their game up against Tonga, they finished their match better than they started it, as they were able to get multiple tries when they returned from that lightning delay. Basic hit those spots to get the position, pull the play. If the Kiwis can find sync, it'll be on. And the thing is, that's about the 4th or 5th time we've seen a 6 again against the Samoans, so they can't afford to keep on doing that. Last 10 minutes, tackled inside of the opponent's half. Samoa have not been tackled inside of New Zealand's 50 metres throughout the last 10 minutes of this contest. It just shows you the momentum and the shifting of this one. Show the game says, Tui, sadly we can't due to licensing. Line breaks 4 for New Zealand, 2 from Samoa. Now another step coming here from Willison. It's pronounced Isiako. Isak. Oh no, I'm probably going to butcher it even more than I was already, wasn't I? And we have got there. There goes Duck. My 6:30 dream. Says JR now passed away to the right hand side. Now just talking about the busyness of some of these New Zealand players with running the ball. Kieran Foran kicking this one up high. Nicely taken, though, by Brian To'o. And go New Zealand, go. Says JK. And also go Toa Samoa, says Sunia. And there too. Now sitting about 12 metres out from their own line here, Samoa. Still the 5 minutes remaining on the clock. And the score is sitting 6 points to 12. Samoa, the biggest thing here will be don't make any more mistakes before halftime. As if the Kiwis get themselves another one. Oh, is that a 6 again? Not quite. Now, will be Josh Papali'i hitting the ball up. Up to 4th tackle already. Now Tavanga, big collision with Crossland. Now back across to the left. Jerome Luai. Kicking this one up high. This one might be competitive here, but very well taken by Kinney at the back. Manages to find the offload to Nickel Clockster, but he is tackled by 2 defenders. In fact, this time it's McLean. Does pop up with it. We're cooked now. says George there. Now, it's still early enough in this game. Still a whole other half of rugby league to take place in the second 40. New Zealand players, couple very slow getting back to the mark. They're White and Crossland. I've taken that few extra seconds. Try and get ready on the attacking line again. I love butter chicken, says David. We will not hold that against you. Now, that's going to be fifth and final for New Zealand. In fact, no, sorry, they have got one more. Kieran Foran going across, missed tackle from Samoa. That's starting to happen a little bit more often as we get towards that halftime break. White dragged down on the halfway line. 38 metres gained for the New Zealanders. Kick downfield from Foran. Show us the screen, bro, for like 5 seconds. That would be all it takes for us to get taken down off YouTube, and then I wouldn't be able to do streaming for 3 months. So it's 5 seconds for 3 months. All right? Rather than 15 seconds for 9 months and something else. But now, it's going to be going off to the right-hand side. 40 metres out from the line. Big collision there. Talangi getting driven backwards. I'm fond of sausages, says Jason. Fair enough. Oh, Targo going through. Or Tunga, I should say, sorry. Just about able to sneak through that New Zealand defence. Still the 3 minutes remaining of the first half. Bit of a miss pass from Samoa, but sits back up for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Stepping around White, but can't quite get away. Finds the offload to Junior Paulo, though. And that is now fifth and final for Samoa. We're starting to rattle off these sets. 61 metres gain now for Samoa this time. Kicked him on from Jerome Luai. Taken by New Zealand. Just out from their goal line. I probably said Murray Tuolangi it was ruled out. I did, yeah, and I haven't seen him out there on the field as of yet due to his knee injury in this match. But Blaze Talangi is still on the field. Now another step. Now, nice tackle made by Tavanga. And Kiwis, not Kiwis on the floor. Says Cora there. Oh, nice looking offload there from New Zealand. Trying to find another gap. Breakthrough. They've got 2 minutes remaining. Chicken breast, says Martin. And there as well. Now another pick and go. New Zealand looking for the offload. Kinney goes back across to the right. Finds White. Now Foran. Puts it out to Nakora. Ducks under one. Running forward was, I believe, Kieran Foran. They didn't get the pass to him, but the penalty goes against New Zealand for obstruction. My bad, I heard Talangi, not Talangi. Says short stories there. And also, where are you watching the game on? Are you in the USA? So I am in New Zealand, so it is on Sky Sport 1 for us here. I know that the USA is a bit of a tricky one to try and find the option for, mainly because they did have the games earlier on in the competition, but I'm not sure about this final. Can you show us the game? Sadly, due to licensing, any match footage or audio would get us taken straight off YouTube. So we are unable to do so, but we will be doing the play-by-play all throughout the second half of the contest as well. We're currently only 60 seconds away from the halftime break. What does obstruction mean in rugby, says Tiny? So pretty much just out in front. He was accidentally offside, I guess is another way of describing it. I probably use the rugby union terminology rather than the rugby league. 1 minute left. New Zealand holding down Junior Paulo. They're just looking to close out this half without conceding again, but Samoa in a good position on the field. 30 metres out. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck almost sneaking through again, but he is tackled by Aaron Clark. Now selling the dummy. Goes across to Payne Haas, who's held onto by the back of his shorts. The biggest man on the planet is what one of the commentators has just called him, Junior Paulo. Thought about the low tackle attempt here. The New Zealanders, they will be looking to just close out this set without conceding. Currently 30 seconds left in the half. Jerome Luai, can he get this ball across? Manages to find Talangi. Now pass one more. Beautiful step. Terrible defence from the Kiwis. That one's on the line by the looks of it for Dean Mariner. And I think they may just about check this one. He may have scored with 15 seconds remaining in the half. One moment, I am just about to sneeze, so I will very quickly mute. We are good, but I think that maybe, just maybe, Dean Mariner may have finished this one off. All he needs is that ball to touch the line. He was initially short, gets that one movement. That looks like it might be down, although it was also on his hand. So it's whether or not they consider it as a clear grounding. The Samoan crowd are already celebrating it. A good thing go the Kiwis. And bless you, says Night Watch there. Right, they're watching it from another angle here now. See whether or not they can get that clear grounding. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think Dean Mariner has actually blocked his own try here. Maybe. I think his hand was underneath the ball and he couldn't get it, but then I think one of the Kiwis came in and maybe helped him get it down. There's no denying it's on the line, but I think it's on his hand as well. So it's whether or not they consider that as a clear grounding here for the Samoans, or whether they will give them that one last phase. Like they've said, it's his own hand that is blocking his try-scoring chance. That angle doesn't look too bad from the far side though, but I don't know if they've got that clear, conclusive evidence that they are after. That's on the chalk, says the AI underdog pick. I know that sometimes people get trust issues with the TMO or the bunker. I think that from how long this is taking, this might be no try. We have got their bad decision, says Jace. And there, 15 seconds before the halftime break, this was the fourth tackle the USA needs to play league, says Asua. Right. So they've said it there. That is going to be no try for Samoa. I believe the call is going to be 6 again. I think they've got 15 seconds now to try one last play for the halftime break. That was the face of the Rock in the crowd, I believe. Not his literal face, but actually like a big cardboard cutout of him. But now 15 seconds remain here. New Zealand told to get back on their line. Mariner will be able to restart this one only 2 metres out from the try line. The Kiwis survive again just before the halftime break. Now using their back line. Junior Paulo shovels on to Jerome Luai, trying to step his way through. He's going to be taken down with 5 seconds remaining in the half. This is where Samoa... Oh, Luai holding his face here. I'm not sure what that's for. Is that to try and get a penalty out in front to take the 2? I think that Ashley Klein's having a conversation with him here. Jerome Luai asking for a penalty. Oh, he ducks his head into it though, Jerome Luai, so I think he'll be optimistic to get a penalty here from the referee. How are you there, bro? Biased AF? Yeah, see, I probably still would have awarded the try even though the hand was underneath it. I feel like it was close enough, but close enough does not count in a Pacific Championship final. We've got the headbutt of the bicep. And Luai is dangerous. He absolutely is. His nose has been busted open about 3 times throughout this matchup, but he's still been having a field day. Right. What is this decision going to be here from the refs? I don't think they've actually called anything as of yet. In fact, they have. It's a penalty to Jerome Luai. And that means that they'll be able to take the 2 points. I think that was what Luai was looking for at the end of this first half. So they may not have got their try, but they will still get those 2 points to give them more than a 6-point lead heading into that halftime break. I'm going to see it there. Luai just ducking that head straight into the arm. That wouldn't have felt too nice. Well, Jerome Luai looks like his nose has been bent a little bit from that collision. And the Rock is Tongan. He is Samoan, isn't he? And Luai is a nobody, says Manuel. And Muppet Luai says Brent. And also the Kiwis paid off the ref, says Duck. Although if they had paid him off, they probably wouldn't have wanted this decision to go against them, but Samoa should have a nice easy 2-pointer to add right at the end of the half, and it will make the score 14 points to 6 going into the second half. Who are you going for? I just wanted this to be a close game, and I feel like that's what we're seeing at the moment. These two sides, last time they played was earlier on in the Pacific Championships competition. It was 24 points to 18, but Talangi does add the extra 2, and that is going to make the score at the halftime break, like I mentioned, 14 points to 6. And the scoreboard is right of the screen. New Zealand 6 and Samoa 14. As Luai the ref, says Craig. He certainly seems to know all the rules, Jerome Luai, when he is out there on the park. But a eventful first half between these two sides. One thing that I have to mention, though, was the brilliant work of these Samoans just out from their own goal line. Able to shut down, I would say, 2, if not 3 tries that New Zealand in a majority of their other games would have considered themselves likely to score. We see so far the 2 tries for the Samoans. That was Sasangi as well as Brian To'o. And then just the one try for Ngāwhahu White, I should say, in that 32nd minute for the Kiwis as well. We have seen the 2 from 2 from Blaze Talangi. We have seen 1 from 1 from Isiako. And then also the penalty goal going over from Blaze Talangi as well. Looking through at some of the interesting stats from that first half period. Do you watch American football at all? Not really. It's something that, like, I'll watch a replay of a game, but I won't watch one live just because it does take quite some time to get through it. But possession, 54% in favour of New Zealand, and they've had an extra 2.5 minutes in possession compared with the Samoan side. Completion rate is pretty even. New Zealand sitting 17 from 22 sets, Samoa sitting 17 from 21 sets. So just the 3% advantage for Samoa there. The running meters, relatively even, just an extra about 75 for the Kiwis there with 877 compared to the 794, so actually closer to about that 83 difference between them. Post-contact meters, New Zealand just a little tiny edge there, 2 extra line breaks and 7 extra tackle breaks, but the set distance that these sides have had on average is very similar, and that is the big difference compared to what we saw last time that these two sides played off. We saw Samoa have about, I believe it was anywhere between 5 and 10 meters on average less per set, whereas in this game at the moment they have only got the 2 less meters. They've been right in it. They've had some good positioning on the field, although there was that period in the middle of the half where New Zealand were having all of the ball. There was a time for 10 minutes where we didn't see Samoa even have a tackle made on them inside of New Zealand's half. And 26-6 will be the final score, says Duck there. And also get them in there to Pene. And Luai milked it, come on, says Hayden there. And also we have got there as well, if it was the Tigers playing, Luai would never got that penalty, but the NRL wants Samoa to win this, says Craig. And got to give it to the Kiwis. They always get hard done by against any Pacific Islander teams, says Hayden. A good job, Samoa, says Jay. And there as well, looking at the offload stat, 14 from New Zealand compared to the 6 that we have seen from the Samoans. So actually keeping this ball alive a lot more often. Dummy passes 7-2, also in favour of the Kiwis. So every stat that I'm reading off at the moment would make you think that New Zealand were leading in this contest. But because of that brilliant defensive effort from the Samoans at brutal and pretty much crucial times, that is why they are still in the lead. We have got there Samoa have no integrity, says Tarata there. And also we have got there LFG, says Usmops. And also Samoa need their money back, says Big Rig. And also you're a good commentator, bro, watching from West Auckland, says Brent there. And it is greatly appreciated you being here for this contest. I will mention Samoa. The thing is, throughout the rest of the field, with the exception of that 15 metres in front of their own goal line, their defensive numbers have actually been relatively low. They have made 190 tackles and they have missed 38. So tackling at just under 75% for this matchup. But because of those crucial tackles being made just out from their own line, that is stopping the Kiwis from scoring. New Zealand sitting with around 80% on the tackle completion rate, but we did see that interception try that the Samoans were able to get for themselves for Simi Sasangi at just the right time. Penalties, currently 4 against New Zealand, 3 against the Toa Samoans, and 5-6 again calls going against Toa Samoa in this matchup already. We have got there that Mariner try was legit. It looked pretty good, didn't it? And I think they said that the only thing stopping him from scoring was his own hand, but I don't think they can guarantee that that ball wasn't twisted so that it did end up getting grounded beside the hand, but I guess they didn't find the angle that they wanted. So in the end, Samoa, they still got those 2 extra points because of that last penalty of Luai, so they got something from it, but they would have liked that other try. Would have been the perfect time to score it as well, 15 seconds before the halftime break, because it was too much of a string to stretch. Clear no try, says Craig there, and it ain't over till it's over, says Mondo. And speaking of over when it's over, we will have a quick look and see what the odds are for this match. I mentioned how Samoa late before the match did get underway, did become favourites for this contest. I'm very curious to know what it sits like at the moment here, and whether or not they are considered as favourites right now. Yes, they are. $1.45 favourites, New Zealand are $2.75 underdogs. So I believe that is the most of an underdog New Zealand have been throughout the whole of this Pacific Championships competition. Maybe with the exception of being 10 or 12-0 down up against the Samoans a little bit earlier on in the game. Toa Samoa, says George there. And go Toa, says Ruhi there. But looking through at the recent fixtures between these two sides, these are the most recent 3. As you can see, that game earlier on in the Pacific Nations or Pacific Championships comp, New Zealand were able to win it by the 6 points. The game before that, 2 years prior, New Zealand beat Samoa 50-0, and the game before that in 2017 for that Rugby League World Cup, we saw New Zealand get the win by 30. This is such a different Toa Samoa side now. They are competitive. They have been brutal at times throughout this contest, and they are playing like a side that believe that they can get the victory over the Kiwis. They're just showing some of that last-ditch effort on defence from Samoa that has helped them stay in the lead for this match. The 8 points separating the sides, so the Kiwis are going to need a try and something to be able to get back into it. Seen their tackle bust so far. Nakora's had 6, Brown's had 6, and Kinney has had 5 from the back. He has been relentless when it comes to trying to find those gaps in the Samoan defence, which he has been able to find multiple times, but hasn't led to many points at the moment for the Kiwis. Go Toa Samoa, says Falaniko there. You've seen that in Luai's game every now and then. I commend. That's how you win. And also Samoa in this. Yeah, if they can score themselves an early try in the second half, I would say... I still said Samoa to win this game need 4 tries, at least. 4 or 5 would possibly get the job done here. But this game is far from over. 40 minutes remaining. And like I mentioned, the last time these two sides played at halftime, it was 16 points to 12 in favour of New Zealand. And they find themselves, rather than being up by 4, they are down by 8. But they were able to score themselves more points than Samoa in the second half of that contest, scoring the 8 points to Samoa's 6. If that was the case in this contest, we would be crowning a new Pacific Championship title winner. They're just showing that one from Mariner. That looks even better in the fast motion. Has the potential to be a 24-18 replay. Kiwis, by the way, or Kiwis all the way, says Spencer there. And with the rules today, the Kiwi who does pull the wise ear, or here, will be sent off, says Craig. Nice going, Toa, says Talai. And also we have got there, I don't know what that judge was looking at with that try. Should go to Specsavers, says the AI underdog pick. I think they're sponsored by Specsavers too, aren't they? These guys out there on the field. You see their post-contact meters at the moment. McLean is at the top of the bunch with 34, alongside also Dylan Brown. And then Junior Paulo, he has had the most post-contact meters out of anyone for the Samoans. We have got there, please stop being an a-hole with our commentary. Says Asano, he's coming a little bit hot, hasn't he? So I guess I should ask, how can I be less of an a-hole? Sano, is there a certain player that you want me to praise a bit more in this case? And watching from Utah, go Toa Samoa, says Nulful. Hopefully I've said that correctly. We have got there, Joseph Parker will meet you in Otahuhu. And also we have got, the Warriors are hungry, go Toa boys, says Talay. And watching from Utah in the USA, let's go Toa, says Scalia. But they're just talking about those offloads of New Zealand. Having an extra, I believe it was 9 throughout that first half compared to Samoa. They also had more post-contact meters. They had more meters made in there too. The second half of this contest is not going to be a mile away from starting up. And we have got their Curse Caster makes another non-favourite Samoa win. You're such a curse man, Samoa. We're favourite for this game, Shavam, heading into kickoff. So you're just making up stuff now. And Shush Kiwis, don't talk smack. You get in a hiding. Says Duck there. And also we have got there, not to count the eggs, but 40 to go at the moment. Anybody's game. Good luck both teams, says Panapa. And also we have got there, goes Samoa, says Lea Lofi. And there too. But looking like a very composed Samoan side. And they're changing shit at the moment. No one looks stressed. They realise they're up by the 8 points, but they will know that this job is not done. As of yet, they still have more work to do. We all know that was a try-card, says Ioane. I thought it looked pretty good. And Samoa was favourite. You're done, bro, says Shavam. Yeah, so they were favourites, and now they are winning. So it makes sense, doesn't it? We have got there, Roger, don't ask, or you shall receive, says Don. And also we have got there, I was born in Otahuhu, Rise in Papatoto. And live in Liverpool, England, says Mondo. And also we've got there Toa Samoa, says Vana. And there as well. Yeah, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, player who has made that transition from New Zealand to Samoa for international rugby. And he would love nothing more than to be a part of the Samoan side that gets the first ever win up against the New Zealanders. No, they were not. You are completely wrong, says Shavam. You obviously didn't look at the odds just before the game, Shavam. There was a late change. They actually showed it on the coverage, showing that Samoa had dropped to being the favourites on the TAB odds. We have got the Hunters Plaza, nothing inside, says David there, and all the way the Toa, says Joe there, and also Go Manu, says Panapa, and there as well, and Go Samoa, says Amy, and there as well. So Samoa still a massive amount of support for this side. And why were Samoa the favourites? Looks like the NRL knew something, says Craig. Yeah, it was quite interesting because up until the last, I would say about maybe 3 or 4 hours before the match, the Kiwis were favourites. And then right at the end, Samoa became the favourites heading to kickoff. So I wonder whether or not it was perhaps just that little bit, maybe a massive late bet coming in on the Samoans. Got New Zealand right before at $1.60. Says Shavam, you obviously got ripped off because people were locking in the New Zealanders for about $2.20 just before the kickoff as well. Brutal game, love it, up to 685. Says Rowe there. And also we've got there, cook the man some eggs. I've realised now why you hate me so much, Shavam. It's because you keep on making terrible betting decisions. And every single game that you come in and blame me for a bad team performance, it's because you've used your own stupidity to back the wrong side. We have got there, high come on the Kiwis. Says Johan there, and go New Zealand, go Samoa, love both. And also go Samoa 684. Says Don there, keep up the good work, Hamish. This is the last league game of the year. All downhill union from here, says Jace. Yeah, we've still got quite a bit of rugby league still to go. 1 second, I am quickly going to sneeze. Second, there we go. We got it back. Even after the first try, Kiwis $1.90. Says Shavam. But yeah, once again, it just seems to be anytime you place a bet and you start to get it wrong, you just come and abuse me for no reason whatsoever. Like, just pick the team that's going to win. And in fact, the Kiwis may still win this contest. Why would I be crying? As you Samoans who will cry when you lose, says Roger. And someone put 250k bet on the Kiwis, says David. And also we have got there, let's go the Kiwis, says Mondo. And there as well. And we have got their Samoa haven't beaten New Zealand ever. That is true. They have played 6 times, and every time the Kiwis have won it. Although a lot of people have called this Samoan side one of the most stacked that they have had in quite some time. How long does the halftime go for, says Ioane. Halftime still another, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes remaining. And top All Blacks today, Leicester Savia. I think Leicester didn't have his best game, to be honest. I think that there were a lot of times where he didn't quite make the right decisions from that number 13 jersey. That will come with time, though. Just needs a little bit more. And we have got there, I know you're calling out the line for wrong bet, says Nufo. I mean, I did see that $2.10 at one point for the Kiwis, or $2.20, I think it was, just before the kickoff, like they showed on Sky. They also did have the odds up. They even lost in the group stage, says Shavam. But upsets happen. As we can see, you are very upset with what is happening at the moment. We have got there, let's go the Samoan, says Crafts. And also we have got there, let's go Toa, says Falidi in there. And how long are you going to be live after the game, brother, so we can sing the national anthem? Says JR. So probably only a couple minutes or so after the live stream will be when we are here. And then from there, we have got a late night live stream taking place at about 4 a.m. Lisa was heavily marked. Still made crucial turnovers and good charges. Says Sonny, yeah, they did try their best to shut down that midfield combination in that match. Scotland, their defence was actually very strong. You know, your favourite ex-girlfriend was Samoan. Says Power in there, and you can do it. And back stands for my Samoan nieces and nephews. And congrats to Italy, says Mondo. Yeah, absolutely massive win for the Italians over the Australians in that game. Manu Samoa better, says Metsu in there as well. They are just showing those completion stats very even throughout the first half. 77 completion rate for New Zealand compared to the 81 completion from Samoa. All of the stats point that would say that New Zealand would be leading in this one. And F up, says Dean to Shavam. And also, what do they call the Samoan that fell off the couch? Says Sheepdog. I'm going to go near a Samoan girl. Says Roger there. But second half just about to get underway. 8 points difference between these two sides. Tackled opponents. Half 44 times New Zealand have been tackled inside of Samoa's half, whereas only 21 tackles for Samoa is at the second half. It is indeed just about to get underway in this contest. Almost ready to go. And time left, please. 40 minutes remaining in this matchup. And it is anyone's for the taking. Samoa in that first match up against the Kiwis. They never led throughout it as Kiwi born and raised, full-blooded Samoan. I can't go against one another. I'm happy whoever wins, says Legion there, but it is kicked off by Samoa. Second half back underway. Now, running forward, it is the lone try scorer for the Kiwis at this point in time in white. We have got Ida has become a member of the channel as well. Greatly appreciated. You have now got access to those emojis, including that Kiwi one. Oh, a little bit of a slip there for, I think it was Payne Haas, falling over his teammate. New Zealand springing back up to their feet. Or he is tackled again by Junior Polo. Going off to the left-hand side again. The tackle made by Isaac Tungo. Now we have got there Narcos Tongan. Says Roger, and also Samoa. There's big chill in there. And yeah, currently that 8-point lead at the moment. So very nicely done by Samoa throughout the first half. But they had that one little mistake that they made in the first half, which gifted New Zealand their try. Outside of that, their defence has been absolutely phenomenal. Bro being set up in the chat. Says Tarata there. Now Samoa with Jerome Luai. Passing back across to the right-hand side to the try scorer, Sasangi. Thanks, bro, for the commentary. No worries at all. Time left, still another 39 minutes remaining in this contest, so plenty of time left for either of these sides to get the victory. If Samoa score themselves one more try, though, I would have to say that should be very difficult for the Kiwis to come back into it. It's always very hard to judge. I bet on the Kiwis. Says Roger there. Now going off to the left-hand side, winning with a 40% possession. Man, dumb man, just dumb. Says Javam. But yes, Samoa, they've just been strong defensively. I mentioned about it. They've actually only made 75% of their tackles, but the ones that they have made have been crucial. Just out from their own goal line. They've held up the Kiwis twice. That one's an aerial challenge. Samoa score on the post or right next to it. They are checking this one, but this may be the third try of the contest for Samoa. Right, they want to check it. It is the last tackle as well. How much time left? Still another 38 minutes remaining. But Samoa may have made it just that little bit more challenging for the Kiwis to be able to get back into it. Easiest $500 I'll make. Says Roger there. Does Roger Toa Samoa knock it on? He kind of knocks it into his own shoulder here. Did it hit Kinney? If it doesn't hit Kinney, I think that this would almost be play on here. I think Roger Toa Samoa drags it into himself. This one's going to be, once again, one of those ones that could easily go 50-50. No try, says Jace. We have got there Salty as if I don't like losing, don't bet simple, says Dean. Yeah, it's not the first time Shavam's come in and blamed us for a side losing that were favourites, or possibly favourites at certain stages. We have got there play the ball, Kiwi, says Jace, and hope Samoa win so that Shavam can eat humble pie. Says Stephanie there. That is going to be no try for the Samoans, though. Still the 38 minutes remaining, and that was the fifth and final, which does give the New Zealanders the ball 10 metres out from their own line. Now trying to spin around, and good Precious is the AI underdog pick. We have got the donation as well from Brian. Thank you very much, greatly appreciated. And from the US as well there from Brian. So yeah, it is awesome to have so many people from all around the world tuning in for these streams. I'll be honest, these were the first rugby league matches that we've covered in about 2 years on the channel, but watching these Pacific Championship matches has made me so excited for that Rugby League World Cup next year, and we're definitely going to have to cover it on the channel as well. Back-to-back disallowed tries, says Big Rig. And yeah, if either of those tries had been scored, Samoa would have been in the complete box seat. They mentioned about the chance of a golden boot at the end of this game. Fifth and final now for the Kiwis around their halfway line. Kinney smashed by Papali and Tavanga. And Sky Sports seems to be the best for where to watch. I'm in Oregon, USA. I think the NRL website should have your where to watch list. And I bet Kiwis get paid on time, unlike Samoa, says Jason. But Samoa certainly making their money's worth at the moment. With the way that they're playing, they've just dropped the ball. I may have just jinxed that. But now it is going to be available for New Zealand. I think that they want to check this one. We have got there, you can't blame the commentator if you lose, but you can blame the ref, says Craig. Right, captain's challenge. Do they want to go up for it here, Samoa? They think that there may have been a strip. There was. I think if they did go captain's challenge, then this would be ruled as a penalty to Samoa. And yep, well done, Samoa. And thank you for the free live stream, Sir Hamish. Says Legion, no worries at all. And we have got plenty more coming up, 10 seconds up. Says Tarata there. Yeah, he was asking for it. And he was trying to convince his teammates that there was a strip. In fact, the ball is going to be on the side of Samoa, so maybe they did end up using it in time, but they have got the position now, sitting about 25 metres from their lineup, or from their line, I should say. And New Zealand says Catherine, and there as well, some quick stepping from Brian To'o. And thank you for the pronunciation, bruv. Says Tarata there. And no try, says... Where did that one go? That was from JR. And also New Zealand Kiwis will turn this around. This is not the Kiwis we know this year, says Short Stories. Yeah, having the win over Samoa in match number 1. Also getting the win over Tonga by quite a comfortable margin. Just last week, they have been nowhere near as clinical as they were in that game up against Tonga MMT. But that does not mean that they can't be later on in this game, which is something that Samoa will be more than aware of and why they are chasing that next try in the very near future. Try and stop that chance of the Kiwis making it back in. That's nicely taken again. Some great stepping from Isiako. A lot of pressure on him as he's driven down 10 metres from his own goal line. I go on and get it. Says Hayden. Now Junior Paulo alongside Payne Haas, both making the big shot on Kinney. He is certainly not shying away from taking on the biggest players on the field. In fact, it was Tomoko this time, but still the same case. Going at the two big Samoan forwards is a brave play to do. And New Zealand and Samoa, says Catherine Webb in there too. Another step from Kinney to beat a lot of defenders throughout that first half. He was right up there on the leaderboard. Now fourth tackle for the Kiwis. That will be the fifth around the halfway line on Xavier Willison. And again, only the 30 metres gained from New Zealand once more. So it seems like Samoa is starting to take that little bit more control of where this game is being played. Like, Catherine, how you doing, sweetheart? Says all things with Shivap Singh. And also, forget all about it, Toa Samoa. Let's go again, guys. Says Tana. Yeah, currently Sana, I should say. 2 disallowed tries at the moment for the Samoan side. Toa Samoa, though, with Brian To'o in possession. Took a long time to get him back up to the feet. Almost could have been a 6 again call against the Kiwis. Offload from Sasangi. Now trying to skip his way through the gap for Jaden Sua. Back into the lineup for this matchup. He did miss the second game up against the Tongans. But now Josh Papali'i, 40 metres out from the line. Samoa on top, says Pukio there. Now another step. Payne Haas just bumping off defenders for fun. I feel like we're at that chessmate stage of the contest, or just at that little bit of a stalemate between their two sides, I should say. Nicely taken at the back from Kinney again. And also, we got there, Samoa will have number 2 Kiwi tonight. Go Samoa, says Mackay. Go the Kiwi, says NZ Yowza. And tackle number, says Short Story, so just finished their set. Although New Zealand, they did make 80% of their tackles throughout that first half compared to the 75 tackles, or 75% I should say, from Samoa. Samoa having to defend a lot more. That is going to be the penalty now awarded to New Zealand. We did see completion-wise 17 completed sets for both sides throughout that first half. I believe they'll be up to about 20 completed now for both teams as well. But that is going to be the penalty for a high shot coming from Samoa. New Zealand, they will be able to kick this one downfield. Create themselves another half by little chance here to make that bit more territory. We got this, boys, says Noah in there as well. But Samoa, they've given away 5 set restarts throughout that first half compared to the 2 that we saw from New Zealand. The penalty count was 4 against New Zealand, and then I believe 2 against Samoa for that first half as well. So there are a couple stats that New Zealand were doing quite nicely in, but at the same time, the points didn't represent that. Currently running fourth, though, 40 metres out from the Samoan line. That's a 6 again, so that is now number 6 against Samoa in that regard. Good run forward from Brown. Offloads to Crossland. Looks away to the right, gives it to White. I swear every time I've said right, the very next sentence ends with White from when he has touched the ball. He's never getting the ball on the left at the moment throughout this game. There we go, on the left, this time giving it to White. Now 3-man tackle, Papali'i, Payne Haas, and also Sasangi all involved. New Zealand told to use it. Going off to the left-hand side. Gap opening up. Brown with the offload. And the Kiwis cut through. Isaiah Papali'i scoring the try. And that is exactly what they needed early on in the second half. The chance to get back into this contest is this right now. Says Hawika, it is indeed. And now New Zealand, they are back into this game a little bit. It is sitting 10 points to 14. How can we see it? It is on Sky Sport. I believe it's on Channel 9 in Australia too. But just the delayed pass from Brown lured in 2 defenders. Found the offload to Isaiah Papali'i, who finishes it off for the Kiwis and gets them back within the 6. You beauty cha-ching. Says DJ there. And we have got there, let's go the Kiwis. And as well, Papali'i says Shavam there. And also Jer says Short Stories. And also we have got there Up the Mighty Kiwis. And Go Samoa says Crystal. And for free, how can we see it? So I think 9 in Australia if you are in Australia. If you're outside of that, it's a little bit tricky. And Toa Kiwis says the NZ Yowza. And it's league ball on the floor. And also we have got there 13 million Brown, says Ruben. Yeah, just two defenders lured in. Tuavasa Shiki was going to be the third man going for the tackle on Brown. Now we have got there as well. Our user still losing, says Duck. And how much time? There's still another 30 minutes remaining in this contest, so plenty of time. Oh, hang on. They checking this? Or is it awarded? I think it's awarded. But I heard a little bit of the referee talking there. No, it is still awarded for New Zealand. I thought for a second they were going to try and take that one back. But Isiako, or Isaako, I should say, does manage to get that one over. 30 minutes remaining. Damn, bro, no, you're all good, Shavam. It did go over, and they did end up still awarding it. And Dylan Brown has been acting like a younger Sean Johnson. Says short stories. And yeah, picked a good game to be able to do it. He was actually quite decent in the first half, almost. And Famalossi says Lassie there too, and New Zealand 13 plus. And go Kiwis and Toa Samoa, GG's, says Harmony, and see how the ref gave the Kiwis some calls, and they did score. And that's what I'm on about. That's what it's about these days, says Craig. But now 14 points to 12, the score between these two sides. Samoa leading, but New Zealand, they'd feel like now they've got themselves that little bit of momentum. They made some easy meters there in the process too, and it was after that 6 again call against Samoa. If they keep on giving away 6 agains, they are gifting New Zealand easy meters that they wouldn't have been able to make otherwise. Crossland going off to the right-hand side. Great step in from, it would have been Kinney again. And we have got there, our ref's money is on the Kiwis. Says Pura there, all going short side, not quite able to find the offload. Oh, this looks like an injury here as well, looking bad for the ankle. This does not look good for Nakura. And not Samoa, and do it again, Kiwis power. And also we have got there, come on, Samoa, what's going on? Says Aleki. Just those 6 again calls, that is the 6th or 7th. That's an ugly one for the ankle. Unfortunately, it looked like it was hurt straight away for Nakura, just got stuck underneath. Oh. They've gone on report here. So that is going to be for the one that was, I think it's because of the body weight coming down on the limbs in this scenario. And it is the penalty awarded to New Zealand. Again, Samoa, their own worst enemy at the moment. These type of mistakes are just giving New Zealand 50 metres easily each and every time, which then puts them in a great attacking position once more. Samoa need to get their heads back in this game, as they haven't started the second half in the same way that they did throughout the first. But now only 20 metres out for the Kiwis. White, they wanted the 6 again. They do not receive it this time. Now stepping and trying to sneak through the gap was Aaron Clark. Are you telling me New Zealand has KFC? Never knew that, says Tiny there. But now it's going back across to the left-hand side. 10 metres out for the Kiwis. Trying to find that next pass. Brown almost sneaking through himself that time rather than having to find that next pass. Third tackle for the Kiwis. Now Foreign. On across, step for Willison. He thought about reaching out the arm, but he's still 2 metres short of the try line. This is the 4th tackle. Crossland goes back across, Foreign, pops it in behind. Chancey, Jerome Luai, big diving tackle, and it's another penalty against the Samoans. Too much height on that one from Jerome Luai. And again, the discipline of Samoa has completely fallen apart throughout the first 12 minutes of the second half. Now wait, why can't we see them? Due to copyright. Any match footage or audio would get us taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike and banned from streaming for 3 months and potentially sued, which would not be ideal, as I don't enjoy getting sued. I don't think many people do. But one moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll quickly mute. And they should have played the game in Auckland. I'll be honest, I actually quite like a neutral location for a final. It does mean that both sides do have to go into it and they can't use that home field advantage. It looks like New Zealand actually taking the 2 points here rather than going for the 6-point attempt. Go Kiwis, you can bring the boil up home. And either way, this will be great for both nations. Go the Kiwis. Now lining up this kick. Siako, he has been accurate all day. Like they've said, not an easy kick here, or at least it's easier than some, but not necessarily the easiest, but he has made it look easy. That one goes over, and that makes the score now 14 all between these two sides. The second half, we have seen 8 points from New Zealand already. Did Nakora get taken off? I believe so. It looked like his ankle was not good. Got stuck underneath. And it'd be good to see golden point. It would be. Be stressful for both of these sides, that is for sure, but it could certainly be on the cards here, although I think that Samoa need a couple really big moments now. They've allowed New Zealand to just fire back into this game and getting the 1-6 again, and already about 2 or 3 penalties against Samoa in the second half. We got this Kiwis. I don't feel like being a humble loser. See his solid shorts there. But now, ready to kick this one off for the Samoans again. Now kicked off long, taken inside of their in-goal area. Now New Zealand running it back with White. And we have got their use, says David. And also we have got their Toa will still win, says Duck. Well, the great news is both of these sides still have a brilliant chance. And I did want to see a close game, and I mean, we're certainly getting that at the moment. 25 minutes remaining, and these two sides can only be separated by less than 0 points. It is 0 points in total, separating these two teams. Oh, a big run forward, almost breaking through the line for Aaron Clark. Moves up to the halfway line, fourth for New Zealand. Crossland decides to take the run on himself. Brown will just take the grounding. He's asking for a penalty there. Referee doesn't give him it. Another 25 metres gained. In fact, there might have been even more than that. Now this one's going to be competitive in the air. Knocked on by Samoa. And New Zealand now a crucial 6 here for the Kiwis. 15 metres out from the line. Change the score. At the moment it is 14. Is it going to? No, it doesn't want to give New Zealand the extra 2 points at the moment. It is an online scoreboard. They're checking that one. I believe that was knocked on by Brian To'o, which is not good. Although they've said there a disruption of the contest in the air. Does that mean that they are going to go in favour of To'o instead? Or is it just the fact that it was competitive in the air but still the ball for the New Zealanders? The tide is turning. And be humble, guys. There's Pukio there. Kiwis are starting to free up. They certainly are. And they are right in the middle of the field. 12 metres out from the Samoan line with 6 phases to go through here. Crossland goes across to Brown. Inside pass. Finds the hands on McLean. He's been quiet in this one. There is no penalty. Says short stories there. But there is another set on attack for the New Zealanders. There is a player down for Samoa too. And it looks like they are going to be stopping this one here to just check on the injured player. It looks like Tavanga is holding on to his arm, maybe around their elbow. Does not look too happy at the moment, but it looks like he's going to try and continue in this match. I don't want to be like Tonga. Says James there, and also discipline might bite Samoa here if they're not careful. Yeah, they've given away far too many penalties throughout the second half. You know, in Pumas versus Wales tomorrow, we certainly are going to be, I think he got an arm bar there for Tavanga. His arm just got stuck in the process of the player standing back up and got fully straightened out, if not hyperextended. And Kiwis try, says Mondo. And Fa'amalosi, boys, says James. And there too. Now second tackle for New Zealand. 10 metres out from the try line. Another step coming in from Willison. What's the score at the moment? It is 14-14 between these two sides. But the Kiwis, 10 metres out from the try line. Attack and run from Aaron Clark. He goes over, scores the try, and the Kiwis have gone from 8 down to 6 up in this final. This is just momentum shifting well and truly. You got chicken wing, says David there in Toa Samoa. And it's just the mistakes that time. It was the knock-on that cost the Samoans. Yeah, Cousin Clark. Says Mark there and go Kiwi. Says be the best there in Aaron Clark first try of 2025. And tell you what, you wouldn't think it from the way that he finished it. You'd think that he was the type of player who would have about 5 or 6 by now. He had to let Junior Polo know all about it as well there. And Samoa collapsing like they're taking tickets in cricket. And also the ref should be fair for this game. Good luck, Samoa. Play fair and work hard. Catch the ball between them. If they pass the ball, then you got a chance to win. Says Jessica. Yeah, we did see that interception try for Samoa earlier on in the contest. But now 57 minutes passed in this game in New Zealand. For the first time in this contest, they have taken the lead. And all this is catching up so quick. Says Hahn there. Great job, the Kiwis. Let's go Toa Samoa. Says Bonnie. It's just a dangerous finish from Aaron Clark. He had 2 men on him Junior Polo, as well as Josh Papali'i. What's the head-to-head odds now? Says Zoe, at the moment, the way that it sits, New Zealand are now $1.22 favourites compared to Samoa, who are $4 underdogs. Up the Kiwi Wars, says Pura there. Lucky win for the Black Cats, says David. And also we've got there, Samoa need to hit back now, says Big Rig. And now, Isako, he is sitting 3 from 3 at the moment. And that one has gone over. And says Aleki. And there as well, and come on far now, we got this, cuzzies, hold on and keep the momentum. And New Zealand have gone from being down by 8, like I mentioned, to getting 14 unanswered points, and now leading by the 6. Good game, the Kiwis, says George there too. I said it before, Kiwis need 1 try and kick. It's over for Samoa, says Legion. You've been going since 3 a.m. Is on the field, says Timbles. Yeah, so we've been going since 2 a.m. yesterday. Oh, no, in fact, sorry, it would have been 2 a.m. today, sorry. We've done about probably 10, 11 hours of streaming. At the moment, win or lose, Samoan fans are happy and humble. Win or lose, Kiwi fans are hateful. Says Sonny, listen. And easy $500 I make tonight, says Roger. And time left at the moment, still another 22 minutes remaining in this matchup. I will mention Samoa, or New Zealand, sorry, did get the extra 2 points. And hating on Samoa is crazy. We're all from the Polynesian region. Says Jaden there as well. Yeah, for Samoa, they are still in this contest, but they just need to break the momentum. At the moment, the way that it is sitting, they have considered far too many times throughout the second half, and just those penalties going against them here in the knock-ons too, been hurting Samoa quite badly. Like they have said, Samoa have not touched the ball for 10 minutes. You're better than biased New Zealand broadcasting, says Timble J. And yeah, we are, like I said, watching these games of the Pacific Championships. I am more than keen to cover that World Cup in 2026 now. That one's going to be kicked downfield by Kieran Foran. Starting to look like a few tired bodies out there on the field. This game has been played at a tempo that both sides will struggle to keep at for the 80 minutes. Toa Samoa tries to recycle quickly. Almost got that 6 again call. There's just been the 2 against New Zealand throughout this matchup, whereas Samoa have been penalised, have been 6 again called 7 times throughout this match. Jerome Luai fending off his opposite number, Kieran Foran. New Zealand commentary needs, says Jean. And there says Sinad. And go back to Samoa. Says all things in there as well. I mean, Samoa, no matter what happens in this game, they will go back to Samoa with a lot of pride and a lot of happiness with what they've been able to do and what they've been able to accomplish throughout this Pacific Championships. That win over Tonga was absolutely huge for the Samoan team. Now that one's going to be nicely taken just out from his own 10-metre line for Isako. And the Māoris, Kiwis all the way. Says Romeo there. The 2 teams, the Warriors. Great game, 20 minutes to go. Yeah, it's been such a competitive contest, back and forth. Just brilliant rugby league being played. And, you know, that's all you want for a final. No matter who you're supporting, as long as it's a decent game and you can look at it at the end and go, yeah, that was a good one. Like, that's the main thing that we were looking for in this contest. Currently, New Zealand in possession. Crossland now stepping again. It is Kinney almost able to sneak through, but a great low tackle made by the one-armed Tavanga. Now, it looks like his second arm has started feeling a little bit better after getting armbarred in that last tackle that he made. Now, Aaron Clark trying to move forward. In fact, this time it would have been White. I still have been so busy in the interchange since making their way onto the field forward. Kicks it up high. Competitive one under the high ball. Big shot coming in on Roger Toa Samoa. That was actually by Nakora, so he has stayed out there on his dodgy ankle. Obviously wasn't as bad as it first intended, or it first looked like. Right, this is BS, says Aleki. Yeah, Samoa just need to get some possession. They've let the second half slip, but if they can score next, they'll be right back into this game. I see that Willison is off, and Tapine has made his way back on for New Zealand as well in the interchange. 4th tackle for Samoa, just the 20 metres out from their line. The collision again there, White and Fisher-Harris making the tackle, only making 22 metres from that set now, Samoa. So Jerome Luai kicks it as downfield as he can. Picked up by New Zealand. Here comes Kinney again. Such an explosive ball runner from the back for New Zealand in this match. 19 minutes now left on the clock. The time's starting to tick a lot quicker. If you are Samoa, tackle made. Brian Toll. It's another high shot. And he just gets it wrong. That's about the 3rd penalty against Samoa in the second half. They didn't even give away 3 penalties in the whole first 40 minutes. And we have got there, Samoa. Please don't lose. Please win, says Earl there. And Far Sad. payback next week. And also kick be the best out, brother Hamish. And Samoa playing dirty, says Nomad. And that one's going to be put into touch. However, the Kiwis might win, but won't win in a fight. And Toa and the Kiwis should just have a scrap on the field. I don't know who will win, says Duck. Now moving forward again in the hands of White. He's got to be one of the busiest players out there on the field at the moment, and he didn't even play the whole game. And we have got their Toa and Kiwis. And now passed across. Brown goes to Papali'i, the last try scorer for New Zealand. Samoa's defence was strong just out from their goal line throughout the first half. Some crucial tackles being made. Come on, Samoa, let's win. Says Jade there. Now passed across. Fisher Harris. That is going to be the 4th tackle made. New Zealand within the 10 metres. Crossland back across to the right-hand side. Foran now finds Kinney trying to step his way through, but he will be dragged down in a great tackle by Harris Davida. What's the option now for the Kiwis? Foran going for the cross kick. Going up for it, New Zealand. Slapping it back. One more on the outside. Bit loose, but Nickel Cloxton claims it. Gets back up to his feet as he wasn't held. Little grubber in behind. Foran chasing after it. Awkward bouncing ball, but cleaned up by Samoa. Stop lagging out, please. She says short stories. And also we have got there go Auckland Samoa, says Timbo. And also go the Kiwis, says Marama there. And go the Auckland Warriors. And what happened to Samoa's defence in the first half? I actually don't know. I think they've just been putting themselves under a lot more pressure throughout the second half with the penalties and the 6 agains and the drop balls. Honestly, it's something that we didn't really see from Samoa in the first half in terms of that penalty count. But it's going to be the goal line dropout for Jerome Luai. He's decided to go straight in the air. It doesn't end up being retained by Samoa. So now New Zealand 10 metres out from the line have another great attacking chance. You'd have to argue that was the wrong choice from Luai in this scenario. The last thing that Samoa needed was New Zealand to have more territory in this game. But now Crossland away to the left-hand side again. White going to sneak through. Probably deserves himself another try with how he has been playing in this contest. Now Crossland using it quickly. Goes to 4 and 3 options for the Kiwis out wide. Kenny shovels it on. Great defence made. And a low tackle from Sasangi. Jerome Luai gives him a tap on the back of the head. Says, good on you, mate, but get back in the line because it's not done yet. 4th tackle. Now for New Zealand, Fisher Harris. Dragged down by Tavanga around the neck. Now 1 metre gained for New Zealand in the set. Kinney goes with a pass now on the outside. Nakora sneaking through, goes back to Kinney. Offload over the top of Crossland. I believe still there for New Zealand on their 5th. Foran still trying to decide what to do. They will go off to the left-hand side. Kiwis have a 3-on-2 overlap on the outside. It may have been knocked on by Samoa. I was the man of the match. At the moment, I would definitely go in the direction of Naufahu White. With the way that he's been able to play off the bench, he has changed this game. Although actually, Keanu Kinney in that 15 jersey is probably right up there too. For what he has been able to do throughout this matchup. He has been really strong. Dylan Brown's had a great day at 6. In terms of the Samoan players, who would you go with in the Samoan lineup? I feel like no one's had an absolutely crazy game, but they've all been pretty decent across the board. We're going to see it here. Captain's challenge was the call. Oh, does it just brush that finger? Outstanding commentary skills and pronunciation, bro. Too much. Says Himalayan there. And yeah, good job, bro. I respect the hustle doing the commentary for us. I'm in Houston, Texas. And that's the best I can do, so thanks. Says Smith in there. And yeah, like I said, I've kind of, from doing the Rugby League games of the specific championships, now I'm very keen to do that Rugby League World Cup next year. Hopefully we'll be able to do some NRL as well around the corner. I know that it normally overlaps with Super Rugby, but perhaps we can try and get a little bit of both going. You're biased, bro. Says Olafala. I would recommend going back to watch me celebrating Samoa's tries in the first half. So that is going to be a successful challenge, but it's very easy to confuse biasness with just praising a side that is on attack. And that is what New Zealand are at the moment. Throughout the second half, we haven't seen Samoa get too much going. Throughout that first half, they were, I felt, one of the stronger teams defensively. But this second half, they've just had a few errors in the tackle. We have there Yowza. Says all things. But now going off to the left-hand side for New Zealand. Another chance. Kidding, he might have done his knee here. Looked like he was struggling to get the feet underneath him. And quite slow getting back up to the feet as well. 15 and a half minutes remaining now. Samoa, they need to defend like they did throughout that first half as they made some crucial tackles, holding up New Zealand twice throughout that half as well. Fisher Harris, 10 metres out. Another two-man tackle. Francis Molo, he's been quite busy throughout this game as well, to be fair, for the Samoans. Now off to the right-hand side. Short ball from Foran finds White. Now that's fourth tackle for New Zealand again. Now a few metres out from the line. Effing bias, says Olafala. Obviously we're going to disagree on that one. We're going off to the left. Foran kicking this one up high. Chance here for the Kiwis to slap it back. There's two men. Oh, it was almost intercepted. It would have been probably a full field try for Samoa had he been able to hang on to it, Mariner, but it gives New Zealand another set to be able to go for. And now off to the right-hand side again. Kieran Foran popping it up. Currently 15 metres out from the goal line. Here comes the Kiwi try, says JR. I can't read that one out, Samoa. But now 5 metres out from the line. Samoa, they need to stop this try or else this might be done and dusted for this final. Foran on the outside. Quick hands from the Kiwis. Loose ball picked up again by McLean. And Biased says, Olafala, don't blame me because Samoa are losing. That's all I'll say. I feel like there's a bit of frustration there. I don't know whether you put a bet on them or whether you are just annoyed that they gave up an 8-point lead at halftime, but passed on the outside. That one's going to hurt because Samoa have just conceded. And look, we didn't even cheer. We have got their win or lose. I see you in Mangere. Says Harms there, but that could be the game for New Zealand. Just scoring the try and getting it out wide. Just too many chances on attack. Eventually, the floodgates were going to open. Vic Marza said try in there as well. Get off it, guy. Says Pura there. And also we have got there, there's always frustration when gather. And also brother has been very unbiased doing God's work. And Go Tonga says the tractor legacy in there as well. And it was the attack and run from Fisher Harris. Got his offload away. And then New Zealand just having too many options on the outside. Brown, he is certainly trying to get himself that man of the match performance. And it is the try for Casey McLean, who has really struggled to avoid getting tries throughout this Pacific Championship. However, there, Dirty Cheats can't fight, says Tukal. And also we have got there, I'll be honest, are you wearing shorts? I am, yes. I don't need to wear the dress pants for live stream, seeing as you guys can't see the bottom half. We have got there, yeah, New Zealand win, says Victorious there. And also we have got there, breadfruit, fruit, says James. Now, the only way I would say that this game doesn't go in New Zealand's favour or golden point is if this kick misses. If he misses here, it is still on for the final about 12 minutes. And to be fair, New Zealand were able to score themselves 2 tries throughout the early stages of this second half. So there's still time. But Samoa just have had no momentum whatsoever throughout the second half of play. They haven't scored themselves any points, whereas New Zealand at this point in time have scored 18 unanswered points throughout the second period of play. And Adcus says Whalen there. And the Kiwis, yes, says Duck. But now ready to line this kick up. Is Sarko. He misses away to the side. It means that Samoa are still well and truly in with a shot. Why are you biased? I will ask the question though. What about it is biased? Out of curiosity, I am genuinely interested. Is it the fact that I've said that New Zealand have played well? Or because I've said that Samoa have played well all throughout that first half. Once again, recommend going back and listening to those tries that Samoa were able to score. You would think I was going for the Samoans. Thank you, Hamish, for wearing a shirt and tie legend for the league match. Or for the league match, there's Craig. And also we have got there Kiwis win league. They all win a fight, says Jet. And we have got there start thinking about a field goal. And there as well, oh, it's nicely taken by Samoa. Jerome Luai chasing after the kick, and that has been perfectly won by Samoa. Second half possession, 75% in favour of the New Zealanders, but this is the perfect position on the field. Brian To'o with a massive chance to get this one going. He was able to score the first try of the match for the Samoans. Can he do it again in a crucial moment of the game? Run forward from Francis Muller. Currently sitting 5 metres out from the try line. Samoa going away to the left-hand side. Luai with the inside ball. Nice step from Jaden Sua. He is back in the side after missing last week's game, or the week prior, up against the Tongans. Now Payne Haas shovels it on to Jerome Luai. This is the 4th tackle. Great one made by Nickel Cloxton. And that's 6 again, though, against the Kiwis. Samoa, this is the first time that they're getting some decent possession in the right part of the field. 11 and a half minutes remaining still on the clock. There is plenty of time. Now stepping through, almost piercing the gap, was Molo. They've got numbers to the left here. Samoa can get it out there. Bounce pass to Jerome Luai. Passes one more. Shoveled on from Toa Samoa. Just goes in behind Brian To'o. So they accept a bit of a loss there in the meters department. What's the score at the moment? It is 24-14. Scoreboard's a little bit behind. There we go. Has now just updated. No way they can come over and take me over. There's no way. But now off to the right. Thought about the short pass option for Tyrell May. At 24-14, says Bamala. Round the side, chance for Samoa. Couldn't quite get the ball down, but it is a 6 again. Call again against the Kiwis. And now just the 1 metre out. New Zealand, they will struggle to be able to defend this one. Going off to the left-hand side. Jerome Luai passes out to Brian To'o, who had to dive for the ball, so wasn't quite able to bring it back in. Tuivasa Sheck running straight sideways. He's almost going backwards, in fact, at the moment for the Samoans. Now pass it across to the right. Overlap chance if they can find the gap. Tango with the pass. He made the wrong choice. And the Kiwis take the ball back once more. Just the risky offload. They were only on the second tackle, I believe it was, so didn't need to risk it, but wanted to get that try down the wing. Now we have got there, damn, says Big Unit. A defence says short stories. And good morning, Kiwi Sir. How you feeling, says Benir? Doing a little bit better than we were throughout the last night, but it was a great take from Jerome Luai initially, managing to get that steal, or at least the retaining of the ball on the kickoff. And drop goal, says Phoebes, in there too. But that was the chance that Samoa needed. And Tango, it was actually slapped back in the end from McLean, so he did get their hand to it. And once again, you can see that frustration. Head knock here for one of the Samoan players. And it looks like they are going to take him off now for the HIA. Okay, they are just saying that he needs to leave the field for Dean Mariner. In fact, no, they might lose 2 players because Mariner's the one with the leg injury. It looks like they might be having that change of... Oh, that's a hard one on the back of the neck of Francis Molo. His teammate came up behind him and just hit him really hard. That's right, and don't forget it. Says Victorious. And I hope he's okay. Yeah, I hope so. It looked like just a really awkward one, and also an awkward one for Mariner too. How much time left? Just the 10 minutes remaining on the clock at the moment between these two sides. Yeah, looks like Mariner, he is going to make his way off as an interchange player. This is a whole different team. The second half, honestly, what happened? I have no idea. Samoa, throughout that first half, they looked focused, they looked determined heading into this game. Whereas second half, the 6 again, the knock-on, the penalty, they all led to opportunities for New Zealand on attack, which Samoa had done so well throughout the first half to evade and avoid for the New Zealanders. However, there, Tuivasa. Go warm up. The All Blacks bench again. Says Timble there. And also New Zealand wins, says Victorious. If Samoa score within, I would say, the next 5 minutes, this game is still well and truly on. But they do need a try, and they need it soon. And that was their big chance that they weren't quite able to convert with the pass on the outside from Isaac Tango. We have got there Kenya. Let's go, son. Says Banapa there. But now, going back across to the left-hand side. 1 second, we'll go like this. And we will go like that as well. And yes, says Fred Scott. And also we have got there, what's the score? Anyone? At the moment, 24 points to 14 with 10 minutes remaining on the clock. So not a huge amount of time left at this point in time, but still enough to be able to get something going. Like I said, Samoa, they are running low on time. They will need it in the near future. Kieran Foran kicking it downfield on the 5th. Taking at the back for Brian To'o. Here's who started it all off 10 minutes into this contest, managing to score off the wide cutout pass from Jerome Luai. Now Luai again, going back to the right. Oh, that's a big collision between Fisher Harris and Sasangi. Any cards? Not at this stage. There was one player who got put on report for a little bit of a landing on the limbs tackle. But other than that, we haven't actually seen any sort of changes. Now Payne Haas, any cards, I should say. And I like Samoa. Says Pablo's there. Dean Mariner is ruled out with a concussion, so he will not be able to come back in this contest. And I would be very surprised if Molo passes his concussion test as well. Oh, wow. Francis Molo is only now going off the field. I can't believe that he didn't have to go off when he took that head knock. The Kiwi players were literally gathering around him saying, you've taken a huge hit, but I think because Mariner also took one at the same time, they decided to get Mariner off. But yeah, Francis Molo, he will not be returning in this match, I wouldn't think. And we have there, also we have got from Mark Roberts, Toa Kiwi, congrats. Says a mark there. But now Samoa in possession. 40 metres out from their line. Little grubber attempted it behind. Sits up into the hands of Samoa on their fourth tackle. Trying to get back up to the feet, but couldn't quite do so. For the Samoa number 11 in this match, that is Jaden Sewer. Balls backwards up to fifth and final. Close to the sideline, and another knock on from the Samoans with the 8 minutes left. There's no way they can take me over. Says it was from Special. And also we have got there starting to lose the plot now, Samoa. Yeah, it's just these mistakes that we didn't see throughout the first half. I'm not too sure what has really happened, but whatever happened at halftime, it just seems like they've completely lost their rhythm here, the Samoans. And Kiwis, they've found theirs. I feel like they also deserve a lot of praise for what they've been able to do throughout the second half. Starting to hurt them a little bit. And we have got there, shout out to the delusional Samoa fans. I don't think they were delusional for thinking Samoa were going to win this game. I think that the Samoan side, with how competitive they were in the first match, it was always going to be a game of inches. And unfortunately, in the second half, we have just seen many more inches taken by New Zealand. That's an interesting sentence. What happened, Samoa? Says Hita there. Currently 7.5 minutes remaining. One moment, I am about to sneeze, so I will very quickly mute. There we go. Great commentary and depth calling. Straightforward, lovely as. Or lively as, sorry. I was there. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. Like I said, we've got plenty more rugby league coming up in the near future. I've thoroughly enjoyed covering this Pacific Championships. Fifth and final for New Zealand. Looking to kick it in behind and for Samoa deep. And New Zealand get the penalty. Samoa obstruction. That might be the game. 2 disallowed tries that could have gone either way. Took the air out of Samoa. Exactly right. You know, you look at that one just before halftime. Samoa could have been leading by the 10 or 12 points heading into that halftime break, which meant that if New Zealand had a bit of a late comeback, Samoa would have still had a few more points to work with up their sleeve. But the possession stat is the one that's thoroughly impressing me throughout the second half. The fact that New Zealand have had about 70% possession in this half of rugby league, I think that is where the scoreboard also represents that. We do see here the Kiwis are deciding to take on the 2 points rather than going for the corner and trying to get another set going. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. And 1 second, that. And we have good there, thanks for the good game, Samoa. Awesome Uso, and 34 Kiwis, 18 Samoa in there as well. 1 second, we'll go like that too. And like that as well. Oh, we have got there. I hope New Zealand win. And at the moment, they are getting a long way towards it. Just the 6 minutes left on the clock. Now that kick has gone over. He's had a great day off the kicking tee. Hasn't missed once at this point in time. 5 from 5. And now score sits 26 points to the 14. Proving Samoa still last 2 minutes max. You are biased. Why are you biased, bro? Once again, you didn't answer why you thought I was biased. Is it because of saying that New Zealand did well, or what is it? Is it just because I have an accent? It's very easy to sound biased when a side is winning by 12 points, though. You know, it's the same way as when Samoa were winning by the 2 tries in the first half. We sounded like we were going for the Samoans. He missed one earlier. Oh, he did, didn't he? He missed it out to the right. My apologies there. Which is why they wanted to take that extra 2. So sitting 4 from 5 for today. Who's got the ball at the moment? New Zealand are in position, sitting second tackle win round that halfway line. Oh, another big run forward from Leota. He's had a bit of time off the field. We have got Altaf has become a channel member. Thank you very much. You have now got access to those emojis on the channel too. How long till the game finishes? Probably about 5 minutes or so. And for Samoa, they need to get 2 tries converted to be able to get to golden point in this matchup, which would be a possibility Hey, mate, what's up? Says Jacob. Welcome in. Hope you're doing extremely well. Now off to the right, Kieran Foran kicks it in behind again. New Zealand chasing hard, and that's beautifully taken, but then knocked on by Samoa again. It just seems to be every time they almost get the chance to get back into it, they just give it away. Oh, breaking the line. Papali'i scores the try, and that will now be the win for New Zealand. There is not enough time left. Now we have the HO mind the haters. And also, don't worry, Kiwi lad, you've done a good job without bias, says Lotti in there as well. And that is a finish from Isaiah Papali'i. That gets him his second try of this final. Now we have got there what's wrong with horse, says Ezekiel. And also we have got there Kiwis win as predicted, says Solid Shorts. And bias boy, it's starting to sound like a scratched record, says Spencer. And that's just taken so beautifully by Brian To'o initially. Got under the ball, then knocked it on. So then the Kiwis straight away on the counter-attack, and it was all the same phase. Isaiah Papali'i getting through a pretty weak tackle attempt there from Blaise Talangi. But at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand sit on 30 points. And with that, it means that they have scored 24 unanswered points in the second half. 24. And that's been the difference in this scenario. Samoa, they had some great chances in the first half, but since the second half got underway, they have lacked possession. They have had knock-ons, they have had penalties, they have had six again. That sounded a bit too close to another word. As not being a bias, bro, you keep saying that. Shush, says Reams there. And don't listen to these low capacities. Oh, where'd that go? You're doing great, bro. And grateful for the stream for us Islanders here in the US. Looking forward to more. Says time, and yeah, we're certainly going to have to get it going for the live streams throughout that Rugby League World Cup. Unsubscribe. I'm surprised you were even subscribed in the first time, or in the first place, Ulafala. Isaiah Papali'i scoring 2 tries against his own people, says Brevin, I should say, sorry. And that's amazing, NZ, says Amelia. And now lining up this kick. Sitting 5 from 6 at the moment. Sitting 5 from 7 as this one misses away to the side. Yusakus, says BS in there as well. And also we've got their Samoa's defence sucked against the Kiwis. They were so strong in the first half though. And that's the confusing thing. Although they were strong in certain moments, 75% of their tackles that they made throughout the match, but many of those were crucial tackles just out from the goal line. Great commentary, bro, better than the other guy, says CPB. And 80-minute shout-outs to Ronaldo. And also we have got their Samoa still better. Honestly, I thought that this game would be closer. And I think that Samoa, they'll look at this game and think that this was pretty disappointing for a second half of Rugby League. They have still got a chance to score maybe one more try. Currently 3.5 minutes remaining. New Zealand in possession. 3 metres out from their own line. Mean commentary, brother, says Thomas Tonga there. Thank you very much. And great live chat, bro, from Thailand, says Martin. So we've got a lot of countries covered. In fact, that is the question. With 3 minutes remaining, whereabouts are you guys watching from around the world? Do let me know. Hopefully we can tick off about 50 different countries. Although that might be a bit optimistic. I'm passed across the Kiwis now with the ball. They are in no hurry now with Tapene. Just taking the tackles. Jerome Luai, that smile that was on his face earlier on. And oh, in fact, he is still talking to the referee as well as one of the other players for the Kiwis. So he is still hoping to get something going. And this one, congratulations, New Zealand, says Amelia there. They need to play 80 minutes, says Perepi. And I think that's, like, up against Tonga, they did so well. The Samoans, beautiful inside ball. Now Kenny offloads it again. Pass on the outside. This is some brilliant stuff from the Kiwis. And Nickel Cloxton may have just scored in the corner again for New Zealand as they take the lead by 20 points in this match. We have got there from America here, says Ross. And go the Kiwis team. I know by Samoa was thinking about champagne before the game was over, says Afasi there. I told you can't say short stories. And also we have got there another score. Yeah, they're just running away with it now. New Zealand making quite a statement throughout the second half. But it just is the perfect example of a game of 2 halves. You know, New Zealand have hardly put a foot wrong throughout the second half. I told you we would score again, says short stories. I'm actually going to crash out, says Ross. And where was Haas? Says too easy. Yeah, it was a great offload from Kenny. He got absolutely smashed in the back of the neck for a shot there, and a good finish from Nickel Cloxton in the corner, second half flogging. And also, so glad we have Samoa Kiwis. Thank you. Says Ezekiel, and come on the Kiwis, another try. And also, can you show the trophy lift, or were they copyrighted for this even, bro. Yeah, it would also get copyrighted, but I think that the New Zealand Rugby League Instagram will probably have the trophy presentation on there as well. Mondo has said, great commentary, mate. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated being here for this match. And come to South Africa and still lost. Says Jet there. And good work. Do you know if we play the Aussies anytime soon? I think this is the last game of Rugby League for the year. So maybe in that Rugby League World Cup is when we may get to see it. Whereas the game, it is taking place on neutral ground in CommBank Stadium in Australia. Now, Isiako does curl that one round. It goes over 36 points to 14. Kieran Foran getting sent off with a great game, though not sent off literally, but going off the field very shortly. Now watching from Auckland, New Zealand. Says Salal there. And also, as long as we beat Tonga, that was the real game. Says Tory there. And we have got there also, great commentary, mate, says Mondo. Yeah, a lot of people from all around the world on this stream. And Wellington, New Zealand. Now, just the 100 seconds remaining here. How long left? 100 seconds. So I would say 1 or 2 more sets. And New Zealand at the moment, they will be looking to just close this one out. Then Samoa will get more than likely one last attack. Maybe about 2 or 3 tackles. Although pretty slow getting back up to the feet here for New Zealand. And a bit of cramp there for Isako as well. And thank you, Simon Mannering. Great commentary, better than the old Ken Levin and Star Olsen, says David there. And Samoa got a hiding, says, you know, I know. And yeah, it's just been such a different second half in this contest. But Samoa, like, they deserve so much credit for what they were able to do throughout the first half. They really came out firing in the game. We saw the early try from Brian To'o in that one. Now just the 1 minute remaining on the clock. And it's up to the 4th tackle for the Kiwis. They are going to go for the 5th now in the hands of the captain, James Fisher-Harris. Thank you for the love, bro. Says Scalia there. And now roll back, 40 metres gained for the Kiwis, Kieran Foran. He may get the last touch of the ball for a New Zealand player in the Pacific Championships final. Another step from To'o. They've got 35 seconds now, Samoa, to try and create something here. The question is whether or not they can do so. Not even close. How could Samoa be favourites for this game? Says Craig. Yeah, it must have been the late money on the Samoans because they did show it on the TAB about 20 minutes before the game. It was Samoa as $1.80 compared to, I think it was New Zealand $2.20 or something like that. I have to go back and look, but they did show it on the broadcast in terms of that late chance. Junior Polo dropping that ball. And it's called as the knock on. Or is it? No, they are just hanging on to him. 2 seconds remaining. Last tackle on Blaze Talangi. And that is the end of this matchup. The win for New Zealand, 36 points to 14. They were able to score 30 unanswered points in the second half to go on to win this one. Right, commentary, Hamish. Much better than a blind deaf guy without a microphone, says Jason. I'll take that as a compliment, I guess. And maybe the cells will be full, says Victorious. And also we have got the Kiwi Hard and Loai Tukoki. It's not the Samoan way, says Goliath. And well done, Toa Samoa. We're so proud of you, Toa Samoa. Yeah, Samoa making it through to the final, I thought was a massive achievement in its own right. The fact that they were able to beat Tonga by such a large margin was a massive confidence booster for them. And, you just wonder, was it the fact that they did not play last week? Did that fatigue start to set in the second half? Or was it just the composure for Tonga that did end up going a little bit wrong? It ended up costing them. And in this context, we have got the awesome commentary, Hamish. That must have been how European teachers felt, taking a class full of your always on point cheers, says Aotearoa, mate. And also my new commentator, says Harata. And yeah, we've got plenty more coming up. Hopefully, there are going to be some rugby league games announced in the very near future in terms of who is going to be playing. We do now know that the Cook Islands have qualified for that Rugby League World Cup, which does mean that they will be through for that 2026 competition. Great call, and Hamish says, Roy, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated for your being here on this live stream as well. We have got the good commentary, brother. Watching from Bali, says Mackie T. And also, how many wins for Tay this year? Not a huge amount, I don't think. Unfortunately I'm trying to think if they played anyone earlier on in the season. I don't think there's been a huge amount of internationals. I take a late school commentary, bro, says Les. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. And Luai, I'll never forget what you said at Brian To'o's wedding. Says Story there and truly unbiased commentary, brother, watching from Indonesia. Says Mackie T, and thank you, bro. And Yusaku's says BST, so he is obviously not happy with the result, as he did have a little bit of a crack earlier on as well. Imagine that, having thousands booing you to go and win it, that's it. And Samoa have a massive heart, and we just witnessed one of the greatest comebacks of all time. Says Bahasi in there. And also, Hamish, could you please start commentating the slapping sport? Probably not. I feel like Power Slap's got enough clips out there as it is, so they don't need me. And there as well with Samoa, but I hate stupid people showing off on the road. Says Marilis. And also stick around for the national anthem and haka, says Mark. And also we have got their greatest comeback, says Jack. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was a very strong one, but I do think that Kiwis certainly, they'll just be happy to have been able to come back and win this game up against the Samoan side that during the first half did seem, even though the stats were against them a little bit, like the better side, the more composed. Your commentary is as good as Ian Smith. That's a compliment, by the way. And give me Queensland. Says Spencer, massive heart with small score. And also, yeah, thank you, Samoa, for keeping the game honest. Says Zion, yeah, still a very awesome final to watch. Physical one throughout the 80 minutes. These two sides going back and forth. And like I mentioned, Samoa leading for the first time throughout this Pacific Championship up against New Zealand in the early stages of this game. Better commentary than Sky, says Ian. Thank you very much. And cheers, Kiwis. See you in next year's final. And also, we're there, I'm supporting New Zealand. And also, we have got It's Not Gold, says Jack. And then shout out for the guy live streaming in New Zealand, brother. Thank you. Says Ross, no worries. And also, now that the game is ending, can y'all at least stop hating? Says Jade, yeah, like I said, Samoa, all credit to them for what they were able to do throughout this Pacific Championships competition. They made this competition so much fun to watch. Like, this is our first rugby league that we've done on the channel in about 2 years. It was heavily recommended for me to cover this, and I'm thoroughly glad that I did, because there have been some outstanding games of this Pacific Championships. And that first game between Samoa and New Zealand was fantastic. That game between Tonga and Samoa with the hour and 40-minute lightning strike delay was still a phenomenal one when the sides made their way back out onto the field. Samoa really coming alive in the later stages of that game, whereas this one, they just couldn't quite get it going. But without Samoa in this competition, it wouldn't have been the same. So once again, a massive credit to what Samoa have been able to do throughout this competition. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back later on tonight, and that is going to be the matchup taking place between Argentina and Wales. That is an international rugby union fixture, and that one is going to be starting up in about, say, 8 hours' time, somewhere around there. So be sure to check that out. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.